Hello YouTube. It is, as you can see, 6 in the morning. I'm sleepy as fuck, so I forgot to record. Basically what I just went over, draft so far makes a lot of sense. The Akali and the Shen are questionable bans. The Jax makes sense. Other than that, the first picks are normal. Interesting that the Kha'Zix was banned here, not sure why, versus something like the Camille. And then we see, what do we see come out here? Yone, and can I actually see the last champion? Lucian, thank you. So this makes sense. I don't really like this. I think the Zeri or Varus is just still better here. Or like another heavy AP champion. Okay, Evelyn makes sense. Yeah, so I don't really like this. I'd say that J Team has a better draft. I prefer their neck in there. It's not bad. So, like, I mean, because Camille's going to be going in. They've got dive for these two, right? Like, these two are going to be diving. Alistair can dive, but Lucian's just kind of solo in the backline here. So I'm not really sure how they're going to win this game. Cool, we got like 5 minutes left. Let's just run this at turbo speed, because I didn't watch this game yesterday because I was sleepy as well. So early invade, NGX counter with the same thing. I'd imagine JT's still gonna kill here. And you'll kill with lane swap, and then the lane swap just goes poorly from there. That is a questionable rune choice at best for Alistair. Yeah. It's like they're just kind of wasting too much time there. So NGX is a small lead, and then I'd imagine that their neck just can't play in the lane swap. Oh, it looks like they're going to swap the Alistair up here instead, which will even have to lead a lot. Because they're going to be able to lead a lot to play gold while they're swapping. So NGX has just blown the lead that they had. So it looks like Evelyn just did a full clear on their blue side. They gank top lane. So they put a lot of emphasis up here. Okay, so how did J Team lose this game? Did they just throw? Because, like, this looks totally fine for, like in terms of competitive. Like, you favor J Team here. They're ahead, doing well. 0-7 has the ability to gank again. Not sure why they're going in 1v3. So they just kind of throw there. That's just, they take a bunch of individual separated fights. They get the trade back though, so really explosive game so far. How long have we got? So Yone is really enjoying the fact that he got those 2 kills. You really do like the early shield bow, just the ability to do a lot more crit damage is nice. A lot of the SCA teams seem to prio Herald. I don't get it still. That said, they get a nice conversion onto Kaisa. However, just because how low the team is, they can just kind of come in and mop up the kills here. Oh, what the fuck happens here? because this should be a J team win. Looks like Renekton just gets chunked out and then stunned up with the Corki just doing a lot of damage to the backside. Yeah. Just take too much poke damage. I think they can win that fight, but I think NGX honestly just outplayed them there on the fight. The early kill on Diaz, he didn't help either. Because like you either gotta back out here or you gotta kill the Corki because he's the squishiest member of the team. That said, they do get the Herald, so they're totally fine. So that means they're gonna have what, 2 turrets now because they get top and they get mid. So yeah, I want to see how they actually lose this game because it feels like J Team's in full control. What the fuck? I don't know why he thinks he can go in there. That's 2 kills for Dawn 128 though, which isn't bad. Traded out pretty evenly. Because they get Yezi, they get, oh no, it's 3 for 2. They get Yezi, they get Pan, they get 0711, and then Dawn in return gets the 2. That said, I feel like J Team are going in really, really isolated. Not really as a team. That's not where you like to have your gold lead. Like on the Gragas means that there's basically no gold lead at all. Because Gragas just doesn't do anything with his gold lead. Like he doesn't become unkillable like he would in a ranked game. And so it doesn't actually give you a whole lot here. Yeah, so even though their gold lead looks really bad, I think it's only about 800. I think the Gragas had about 1.7k up. Oh, he's about 2.3k up at this point. So yeah, the gold lead is only like really 200. Because like the Gragas doesn't do a whole lot with the gold, which is just the unfortunate truth of the matter. Especially given that he's building Warmogs first. It means that it's a lot harder to, or that he's building Deadmans first, it means it's a lot harder to become tanky. I like that they're cutting out vision. Dawn was gonna leave the honey fruit there, which is unfortunate because that would have helped a lot. We already sort of chunked, but NGX is just chunking and poking better here, it feels like. Yeah, I really like this team fight. I also think that J Team aren't playing super well. Might just be first game, like warming up kind of things. I think they played better throughout the day. Okay, we're not on the game yet. Yeah, so I think you actually just favor NGX here. Like, they've got a lot more gold where it matters, which is their carries. $2.7k, 3.6k, so it's really only about 900. Trying to start up the bear and give it the enemy jungler's dead. RY could never. Corki steals it. Okay, I see how they lose this game. Yeah, so this is just actually abysmal. How does Corki even get the Baron here? So let's do this. So Baron's at like 54, 40, 30, going down to 20, 17, 16, 8. Looks like the rocket just hits at the right time. Really hard to tell. 862. Okay, let's go down to, that's not what I want. I want playback speed. Let's go down to 45. So we see 862, 851, 828, 700, 473, 442, and it looks like no smite just comes down. So that's just really bad, just not smiting there at all. Or maybe smiting onto the wrong target. I just don't see a smite come down though. That's just a mistake. And that's probably how they're going to lose the game. Because they don't actually have that big of a gold lead. It's only about 900. They're gonna get Ocean Drake too, so they'll have all 3 dragons. Which means it's gonna be really, really tanky as well, and that ability haste feels really good for Corki. So yeah, I don't see the winning way for J Team here, unfortunately. Because NGX is just gonna push out these 2 lanes really hard. Yeah, you can just see the swing right there. With a Baron down. Elder fight. Okay, so DY just goes in. You can see Dawn on the flank, just making sure Wave doesn't get too close to turret. So once Camille goes, he goes. And they back off really far actually. Evelyn gets Elder. Oh, looks like Camille just gets the reset though. Makes it only 1 kill. Since they go down like 3 men. Because Corki gets the Kaisa. Because Kaisa Jace just die here. Evelyn's dead, Kaisa's dead, they're both already low. And then I think Jace and Yone trade, it looks like. Looks like Jace basically hits, or Yone kills Jace, and then he probably dies to the Elder. And once this is done, you can just kind of poke him away. You just keep poking and prodding here. Because, like, yeah, Gragas doesn't have kill threat, and Renekton has to clear wave. And then while they have the 20-second man advantage, I bet they're going to try and fight. Because the only person with Elder is Renekton, so it's basically like there is no Elder. This has not been a bad game so far. No egregious mistakes from either team. That said, I think that NGX definitely have a shot looking at that. Like if this game goes a similar direction, I don't expect it, because I think J Team played the early game pretty horrendously. I think that NGX definitely have a shot I was saying it's probably gonna be like a 3-0, but I think that like a 3-2, assuming this is a best of 5, is probably a pretty likely scenario because these games, this looks very close. And I think that NGX are contesting in the way that they need to. I don't know if it's a best of 5 or best of 3. If it's a best of 3, that's a fucking joke. That's travesty. I really am not a fan of this WRL playoffs format. I feel like it's really bad. Which is really unfortunate because playoffs last time was really, really cool. I really liked the best of 3 of best of 5 or best of 7 type of things. I think that was a really good idea. Okay, so they just win the team fight, they win the game. Not bad actually from NGX. Definitely not one of like I was worried it was gonna be a flip win. Definitely not that. So I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a J team. I'm gonna say J team wins, but it goes to final game. Or we'll say J team 3-1 actually. I think J team 3-1 or 2-1. I don't think that NGX are actually just gonna lose straight up. I think that they definitely have like the ability to compete. That said, nobody's looked like they can beat KBG. They definitely have turned up for finals. So I don't think they play. I think they're just gonna play finals tomorrow, and hopefully it's a best of 7 and it goes to the distance. Because the Nova KBG series last WRL was a fucking gigabanger, and this one does not look like it's gonna be a gigabanger. All of the teams look just mid compared to NG or compared to KBG. Okay, cool. We're gonna try not to pause at all, by the way. So unless something ridiculous happens, Yone ban makes sense. Orn ban makes sense. Both champions, very good. These are being pretty rapid fire. Kazakhs, yeah, makes sense from J Team, but I don't really get it in terms of like things that you want to ban. I suppose you're basically trying to force Red Side to leave up Ash or Evelyn. They don't really seem that worried about Evelyn. Okay, so I'd expect a Gragas first pick at this point. I think that J Team are expecting a Gragas ban here or an Ash ban here. They're gonna first pick the Gragas, try to get a very probably support matchup. Gragas ban means Ash probably the first pick here, and then J Team can supplement that with whatever they want. At least that's what I'd expect. Interesting they go for the Ziggs instead of the Ash if they lock this in. So they lock in the Ziggs. Ziggs is very good, but interesting that he's a first pick again. Not a huge first pick, at least in terms of threat. So we'll see if they go for that. They're gonna lock in Nautilus. They feel like he's probably the best support left on the table, I guess, for Enigma, which makes a lot of sense. Jace pretty good here. Has the ability to kind of counter the Ziggs in terms of ranged threats. So what are J Team gonna lock in? I think you have to lock in support here. You don't really have a ton of options for support. You can go like Galio or like Set or something if you really want to. Volibear is obviously good. You can just see right there the 67% win rate. You're actually gonna go top lane. Locking in the Jax makes a lot of sense. Interesting that Jax isn't actually ever that great of a win rate here. I figured that he'd have a better one, but it's also probably just like a lot of times when teams, when champions have a bad win rate in WRL, it's just that they've been dragged down or they were bad in a previous patch and people tried to force it. So we'll see. Not to mention this is definitely a lot of AP already. A lot of AP here, especially given that Jax will be building Riftmaker. So it'll be interesting to see what they go for. Irvin is a big question mark for me. I don't know how good she is, if she's good or if she's bad. Oh, banger, by the way. I don't know if Riven's good or bad here, so I'll have to tell. They're banning out the Galio, makes sense. I'd expect this to be a set ban. And then it's really like, what are J-Team going to play? J-Team banning out the Ashe, makes sense. They don't have an ADC lock-in yet. However, I feel like J-Team have sort of pinched themselves in terms of support pool. I'm a bit worried about that. Rakan ban. Okay, so set's still up, so they can still do that. So Varus next. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, they're locking in Varus here. Kaisa makes sense. Zeri's still probably the best one up if they put the Riven jungle. Braum. Okay, that makes sense. Like I said, Lucian, not a huge fan, kind of a question mark for me. I think that Zeri is just better here. But other than that, everything makes sense for draft. Who is winning on draft, though? I think JT WRL-A. I just think that you really can't contest a lot of the pressure that the Volibear will give you. And I think that you do like the matchup in jungle. Yeah, the matchup in bot lane, even though it isn't necessarily the greatest, because you do have Braum, and Braum isn't that great. I think that JT will win the draft here. I don't think it's like hard winning. It's also like JT have a really engaged, focused team comp, and I think that Jace and Nautilus, as well as the Riven, can really take advantage of that, because if you're going into the Riven, she still can keep up her stun, she can keep up all her dashes. Jace has his hammer form and knock people away. So I think there's a lot of play there that is used. It'll be interesting to see if Nigma come out slow, like how good their warm-ups were, right? Because J-Team has played the previous best of 3. It looks pretty good in it. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to come out strong with that, or if they come out looking maybe a little bit more tired, seeing if Nigma has the hands ready. Those are all the questions that we're looking at here. Zero 7-11, Barry. What? Hold up. Am I tripping? Sorry, we're going on a slight tangent here. Oh wait, where's my Wikipedia page? There we go. I feel like Barry wasn't playing yesterday. Yeah. They have Barry playing. That's really interesting. I didn't notice this. When did J-Team start playing with a sub? I wasn't paying too much attention to the roster earlier. Bad. Other than that, fine. A bit interesting that Jace has Electrocute. I know that's a bit more popular in jungle, but I still like Conqueror a lot. Dawn 128 really just winning out early. You can already see that Riven not doing a whole ton. So we can see that Jace is on Wolves right now, and it looks like Volibear has a full camp ahead already, which is insane. They're just helping just to secure the scuttle. I'd expect 0-7 to just straight up recall and then probably just run top here. Alright, you just recall, you go back this way, you just run for scuttle. Kaisa forced to exhaust and flash. Lucian only uses ignite. And then you can see that he already has a level lead. He's 4, she's 3. Might be why they like this matchup specifically. She's also missing a few CS here. If she recalls on this wave, it's not bad, because it is a cannon wave, and so Lucian can't necessarily shove that all the way into turret, and she won't lose all the XP. Not to mention jungle and mid, or jungle and support are already here, so they're going to try to help I guess they're just letting wave come into turret. I'm not sure why. Probably just because it's cannon. I feel like you can try to leash that out if you're Braum though. Good gank onto the top laner. Bit interesting because they did have the ward there. I don't think Josh used cannon, so. So they're trying to get a 3-4 man gank bot lane. They've got everybody coming here. The Volibear disabled this turret, and that's a free kill onto Varus, yeah. So you can just see really well executed. Volibear just immediately stops the turret. Varus standing here has 0 recourse really. Instead, it looks like NGX counter invade. So they go this way, and then they just take this. They take the turret plates. They take the buffs. It'll be interesting to see if Joshi just, it looks like they're trying to repeat gank. Good counter strike means that he can't actually take a lot of damage there. This should be Aaron dead. Good ultimate and good. You see Braum jump this way after JT or after 0-7 stuns him here, and then he just keeps walking this way with the ult. And then they're just gonna get 2 plates and back off, I think. You can really see that they're running specifically as a 2-man unit, Joshi and Hyde a lot. So Hyde, I think, recalls and then comes straight out mid here, and they're gonna send the Lucian to the top lane. Interesting that they do this rather than sending the Varus to the mid lane. I wonder why that is. It looks like they really want to play with Joshi and Hyde as some sort of combination. Because that's the second or third time Joshi has just straight up walked out of a bush with Hyde and then just tried to gank somebody. So it looks like they're actually going to send the Varus mid, but they wanted to get the Riven down in bot lane and the Lucian up in top lane. So they don't have vision over the Herald health right now, but they can see that it's being done. Because they can see Joshi on the vision, I think. Doesn't even have to use smite there. So it looks like they're not even going to try to fight this. This is really bad by J team because it means that they can get double objectives here. And Joshi can just drop the Herald right there. So like I said, this is a classic SEA, grab Herald and then just run mid, drop Herald mid, and then using that prio you take Dragon. Really, really bad by J team because it means that they're going to give up a lot of their lead and the Dragon. Doesn't feel bad to give up Ocean Dragon, but it just never feels great to give up both objectives. Looks like they're going to try to get this top turret in response, but I don't think they can do it. A lot of wards around this mid-side top area, if you remember correctly. Not sure if they just got placed at the same time. It looks like they did because all of them pretty much expired right around this time frame. But yeah, there were a lot of wards in that area that weren't coming at a lot of different angles. You can really see the advantage of the Herald right there. Other than that, relatively even, and that 1.5k is really just like it's actually translating to a full item here, which means that it's really good, or it feels really good. Good response to the gank. The Ziggs being nearby means that they can get the counter engage off, plus the Braum. Actually, just great by Pan to tank the hook there, but I don't know if it's going to help, because I think his team is dead. Yep. That was a good hook tank when draw hook like right here. Just tanking the hook to make sure that Kai'Sa doesn't die. She does anyways, but it's a valiant attempt. Not to mention, because that gank didn't go great, and Dawn getting this turret, I think that it's really favorable to J team right now. Because you think about how this gank went, and it's very well repulsed. and a lot of abilities that need cooldowns used here. So yeah, so they get to kill onto Jace. That's 1 for 0, and then that's a good tank on the hook there. And so it's now 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and it's gonna be a 2 for 3 trade, which is not that bad. I don't really like flashing there. I think that's kind of a waste. I think he's dead anyway. But 2 for 3, considering that they got that bot side turret, is very good. It's also back to even now, which is really nice. Like, in fact, J-Team even have a little bit of a lead, and the Ocean Dragon doesn't do a ton early. It's not really like a solo dragon that you can do a lot with. The chains of corruption there from Varus were big. You can just tell that it really stopped the momentum on that bot gank. Just unfortunate that Barry can't get behind DY's shield there. Like when he's standing right here, he gets hit by the shock blast. I think 0-7-11 is going the more tank build. It'll be interesting to see because obviously you can't go AD, AP, or tank on Volibear and be fine. I think on all of the builds. I think that all of the builds are generally good. You can also see how well I think he's leveraging his ultimate in terms of just getting a team fight. All right, so this Chains of Corruption is going to come out of Demon Kite right now. It's going to slow 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it makes it really hard to even get into the back line here, right, because they're trying to go that way. And then afterwards, you can see it's going to be right here. It's really unfortunate, but Barry is actually just right in front of the shield, like that. And then he just gets hit by the shock blast, which means he takes a lot of damage. Because if he doesn't, I think he can almost make it out. I'm looking at a 1.6k lead for NGX. This game has been really close and really good so far. A lot of early action as well. You're thinking about the early top gank, all that good stuff. Jax with a big lead, Chase with a big lead on his end. Other than that, relatively even throughout the bot side and mid. So I think you're really looking at the top laner and the jungler here to try to get involved and make some sort of impact. Dawn and then Joshi are your two big players. So they're just trying to poke from this angle, right? You can see that they're just trying to poke this way, and NGX are trying to poke in response. They're trying to wall out, like right there, and stop any sort of things from coming in. Looks like they're gonna get the bot wave shove. I think they have top wave shove, just given how that radar looks. Oh no, that's not the. No, well, the fight just happened. So JT goes in. There's Yoselon jumps in. Doesn't really have a way out. He has flash. That's the only weakness of Volibear is you have a lot of mobility around walls. You don't have mobility through walls. Yeah, so relatively even wave in top side. Looks like JT are going to try to get the shove there. And they also get the shove bot before going for Dragon. The Dragon is started up. Volibear just jumps over and smites, which is a really good steal. And then DY jumps over just to help 0-11-11, and then 0-7-11 flashes out. And so, no deaths, just a straight up clean objective steal. Really like to see it. However, he gets caught here, and this is bad because Baron. So I would expect NGX to just straight up try to do Baron here. That said, the disadvantage of doing Baron on this side is that they're just going to take pot shots at you, right? Like you can just see Pan and Barry taking pot shots here. That said, Barry's looked very good on the Kai'Sa this game, I think. He's dead though. Yep, that's a wipe. Which means that they should get Baron here. If NGX don't get Baron here, they're kind of trolling. And I suppose they're kind of trolling. The wave's gotten shoved in, JT's going to repulse it. And then what is going to happen? So yeah, you can just see here, like, just taking a bunch of pot shots. Demon Kite and Joshi hit a few nice pokes over this wall, given that they have some vision around here. This last one is really nice because it's entirely blind. I think he just guesstimates based off of the position of where Ziggs was last. Dawn just kind of gets isolated in the 1v3, and then once the 1v3 is over, they just turn on to these two and get the 2v3, and then from there, the stuns from Joshi make it really hard to win. I'm actually really liking the topside Riven Jace combo. I think it's done a lot of work this game. You can just see here that JT actually has had less of a lead, only about 1k versus NGX is about 2Ks. But you can really see it's been up and down and up and down. So it'll be interesting to see how this series plays out. Because this is also really reminiscent of the game yesterday. There's a lot of early aggression, a lot of like just games being played in terms of like how they want to fight and when they want to fight. You can see that the lead on the Jax is closed a lot, but the lead onto the Jace hasn't really shrunk. So these have all remained the same, basically 100, about 800. This is a bigger lead, but like I said earlier, this isn't translating to a whole bunch. It's really only translating to the Protector's Vow plus boot and champ being completed. I don't like this. It's not blocking anything. You're gonna block one Ziggs or one Kaisa ability, and then it's useless. I think that there's better items here, so yeah. Good shield by DY blocking the Shock Blast. 0711 shows topside, so I'd expect NGX to just move down this way and then just try to get the kill or just collapse here. So NGX get the trades in return because J-Team showed topside, so now they can move on to Baron. It's a what, 4v3 or 5v3? So they've got 5, and then they can sort of collapse on a Baron as DY has to recall. He doesn't necessarily have to recall, because he is getting that Warmog's passive going. Jace gets the kill onto Riven. The Miss of the Chains of the Corruption is big there. And now Varus is in trouble. They're just really kiting out this team fight really well, and now it's a 3v3. Jax needs to just survive here. If he can survive, he's fine. But yeah, unable to survive. Still a 2v3 here. This is a really good like continuation of the play, right? Because Nigma sort of rotate up trying to get Baron, and then J-Team just take a bunch of separate. They take really good separately individualized fights in these areas. The last one doesn't go too well, obviously, but because they do repulse them, NGX have to take recalls and go back to base, which means that they will get Infernal for free. Which I think, like, obviously the biggest lead is here. And there's a big lead here now. That's really ballooned since last time, translating into that third item difference. That said, looks like the Ziggs will finish the Leandri as I expect. And I think that it's a lot closer than it looks. These two dragons are worth way more than this one is. So I'd say it's probably Nigma favored, but it's probably only in reality about a 1K gold lead for how I favor each team. Interesting that Lucian's going full crit instead of the on hit Manamine Black Cleaver build that we've seen. You can just see Demon Kite's health get absolutely shrunk there. It's the advantage of the Ziggs and the Kaiser. They do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, DY and 0711 both have Warmogs, so when they do get poked, it's not actually that big of a deal. They're kind of fine. They can kind of just sit there, wait for a few seconds, and they'll be back to full. I'm not sure if that was a worthwhile cleanse from Kaisa. It does stop the knockup, but at the same time, I don't think there was any way that they were ever going to kill her there. Like, there's no way to continue that fight. Two wards in this bush is just a mistake. You should never have two wards in the same bush. So now they're starting up Elder. This way is pushing this way, it looks like. This way will be pushing this way. But Dave's going to be pushing that way. Yeah, so you can see Jax right now just shoving in that top wave. He's kind of isolated right now. Hopefully they go this way and just try to make sure that he doesn't get killed, but it looks like they're going to just let him die. That's really bad. So now it's a 4v5. I feel like JT would give me over a lot of like bad deaths in terms of how they want to play this. So Pan and Barry both forced to flash. They have to get out of here. Interesting that you get the shield while in stasis. So you just saw there the Volibear gets the shield off of his third ability while he's in stasis, which is really interesting. Probably works sort of like how Yumi can just stay attached to you in stasis. Fuck that champion, by the way. So this should be Elder in the game. They would take the first game, and really well played, honestly. They took advantage of the top side, did a lot of the early ganks that they needed, and then I think just a lot of bad deaths from the side lanes of J-Team. Yeah, so usually the strategy is they go Elder, and then with the Elder passive you can burn down Baron extremely quickly, and then once you have Baron and Elder, the enemy can take no neutral objectives and the game is just over. Damn! Oh, I lied. Demon Kite doesn't know how to do Baron. It looked like he did because he was standing right there for a second, but don't think he actually does. Unfortunate. Yeah, so you can just see here, they're just trying to stop the wave from being cleared. And it looks like they're honestly doing a very good job clearing wave. None of the inner turrets have fallen down. Baron's at about half. We'll see what they can do. Oh, it looks like this one's going to fall. This one's the ones that you care about the least if it falls, because you're going to be in mid lane anyways. Elder onto Kaisa, Elder onto Braum. Looks like the game is over. NGX are certainly taking their time on this one. Yep, there we go. That's game one. So I think that again, JT played that relatively well. I definitely think the support pool being pinched feels like it hurts a lot there. But we will see if they can make any adjustments in the next game. I feel like I definitely feel like there wasn't enough. Like it feels like there were no adjustments made from yesterday from J Team. Like this feels like watching. If you guys were here early in the stream, we watched the game from earlier, specifically yesterday. It feels like the exact same game. I could, like if you were to turn nameplates off, I'd be like, oh, it's probably like the same game. Because I don't know. I just again, no adjustments were made. It feels like, at least in terms of what they're going to do. That said, Nigma could make it into the finals. It'll be a very fast finals if Nigma make it in. I'd expect that they'll just get absolutely shit stomped. But we'll see. Let's. There we go. Okay. Cool. Now we're gonna take a break. I'm just gonna be chilling for now. So if there are any questions, feel free to drop them in chat temporarily. I don't really have much to do until the next game. I have no idea how long we have until the next game, so we're just gonna go like right there. I don't think that should probably be. Wait. Hold up. I want to go back there. best of 5. This format is god fucking awful, by the way. People are gonna look at that and be like, oh, like it's a jungle diff. I don't think the jungle diff was in pathing or anything. I think it was mostly in the fact that like there's just a lot more involvement early. Not a bad draft here from KT, except for that. Everything else makes sense. I don't actually mind the Garen here, at least for J team, because there's no one who's really gonna. Actually, if it's into the Renekton, that's not a great pick. I think you'd rather have like, I don't know, something you can match the Renekton a little bit better. The Renekton into Garen is like one of those matchups that I'm convinced people just pick, and I'm like, why are you picking this? It doesn't make any sense. Because Renekton's just better late game. Excuse me as I drink some water to heal my fucking raspy voice. Oh, it's a quick timer. Then we'll just not watch the game. Yo. They're showing off Ornn? Yo. Look at that. Look at that. Fisher. Oh, and he's about to breathe some fire. Oh, I didn't actually know that. That's a nice little piece of information that it'll destroy the Jarvan wall like we just saw. So 1-0. What is Justice like? I feel like first of all, J team probably should not ban support there. I think they just want to be able to pick the Ashe. I'm also not really convinced on the first pick Ziggs. I think Ziggs is still really good, just maybe not first pick worthy. I think that he will fall through draft. Like he will probably go 4-5, so that like you can hold the Ziggs pick for a little while. That's what I think. Okay. What are we looking at here? So JT choose red side here. Swap up from the previous game, they were blue. Maybe it's because they just want that more straightforward ban phase, where you can just ban like Camille, Orn, Ash, something like that. NGX start with the Jax makes a lot of sense. Very valuable last game. JT with the Camille also makes a ton of sense. I'm gonna redo these check marks. Gragas makes sense. They're trying to pinch the support pool again. Basically, what the idea is, you can force them to ban Alistar or Ornn, I guess, and then you can either get the last one, because either they're banning Alistar or they're banning Ashe here. If they're going to play the Ashe, you can then first pick the Ashe right here. Fiorban makes sense. I guess they're just trying to target out Dawn 128 champions. Jace. I suppose they think that the issue last game was the Jace, which is a really interesting takeaway. That like you think Jace is the issue, because that's really interesting that they're banning Jace here and not like I think the Riven was just as big of an issue. Or like if you're really worried about the Jace, do you want them to first pick it? Like, are you not confident enough if you ban Alistar here to go like Ashe Evelynn, which you've gone like 3 or 4 times? I don't know. Alistar makes sense. If they lock in Ziggs here, I'm gonna be questionable at the very least. I want to see what they build around it, but like this is, I don't know. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, now show us the win rate for Garen, please. Can we get the win rate for Garen? Can we get the win rate for Garen? Huh? Nobody's willing to show us the win rate for Garen. How interesting. That champ is not... He's a counterpick champ. Because you literally saw yesterday that if they just pick Gwen right here, you're going to get ham-fisted. Varus makes sense. Corrected. Makes sense. Just anything that's good into the Garen. Olaf? Okay. This is okay. Also, the lack of Aatrox this tournament has been really surprising me, because I feel like he's still really good, especially in jungle. He's not like turbo broken anymore, but I think he's really good. So now what? They ban Kha'Zix. Makes sense. Interesting that they pick Olaf over Kha'Zix here. You also have the option, which would be very interesting, to send the Olaf top and then send the JT mid. Right? Send the Garen mid, I don't know why I said the JT, and then pick a different jungle champion, like a Wukong or something if you wanted to. So they're banning out support picks, makes sense. Jungle picks, Yone makes sense. They've picked him a few times. I think they just lock in the Braum here again. Makes the most sense to me. If you don't lock in the Braum on 4, you're Omega trolling unless you've got a super duper secret support pick. Questionable if they lock in the Kai'Sa. Yes, this is really questionable because Braum is super telegraphed on 5 here unless you're not going to pick Braum. And I don't think not picking Braum changes any of these picks. I think that you do have to be worried if you do not lock in here, because you could always pick something like a Zed on 5, which we saw yesterday. Don't like that. Just Doi? Question mark? What the fuck? Yeah, so overall, I like this. Question mark? Question mark? Alright, well this is good. Don't like that. That's a question mark. That's a question mark. Like this. Like this. This is a huge question mark. I have no idea how this is gonna go. That's good. I don't really, or that's okay. I don't really like this draft from J Team so far. I think that it's poorly done out. I'll probably talk about it after game a little more, but I'm not a huge fan of how the draft went. I think that you can probably do the draft better if you just, even then, like, Thresh on 4 and then Kaisa 5. I don't know. I'd have to look at the picks again. Because it was what? It was Renek. It was Varus. What else? It's Varus and somebody. Yeah, it was Varus. Or no, it was Lucian Lee Sin 4-5. And I don't know if that changes if you pick Thresh 4 and then hold Kaisa. Like if they pick Kaisa, you can just pick Zeri. And I don't know if that's bad. I don't think that's losing at all. So yeah, this will be interesting to see how that does. Good early ward clear. You feel good about that? Are they just going straight for an invade on red side? Joshi's just gonna counter. Yeah. So you can see Garen protecting here, but they just basically they see the invade on red side. They go counter. So okay. So because it's a lane swap, they have the invade. And so they're going to get red. They're going to get Krugs. But J-Team have vision over that with the ward right there. Oh, they're also going to get Raptors because Hyde is doing Raptors right now. And then he's going to give the half-done Raptors to Joshi. Joshi's going to go this way, do Krugs. Meanwhile, I think Olaf's only going to get 2 camps because Hyde's moving down. He's probably going to move this way. We'll see if he gets that 3rd camp for 0711. So, yeah. Not actually contesting it, and it's just a full-on brawl. That said, this is a mistake, I think, because I think you want to... So I think you should have the Ziggs bot here, and then you can move, because the Ziggs, once he's bot, just takes the turrets like nobody else. So it's 2 mid. There's wave coming into mid. They're both rotating bot. If Ziggs gets to hit this turret, they could have 2 turrets before 4 minutes. Olaf's coming in. Does he have the ability to get the kill here? Yes, he does. So that's 2 kills for 1. Or that's a 1 for 1, actually. But they're going to get first turret here. And then they're going to get a bunch of plates here. I think this is just way favorable for J-Team because the gold is not on a champion who's useless, Lee Sin, and Ziggs is going to just fucking hit like a truck if he can hit that turret anymore. Because he did get a plate, it looks like. Yeah, so he just walks up, autos it, makes sure he gets that plate, and then probably hits it with the satchel charge, and then uses the Thresh Lantern to just back out. This is a wild fucking game so far. So yeah, they've already swapped Barry mid at 2 minutes because he's level 5, and he's actually behind on XP. But you can just see 2.7, 2.3, a lot of gold on these members. Especially Barry. So I want to see, this is Barry's shot here, right? Yezi is out and Barry is in, so we really want to see Barry trying to do as much as he can. My throat is going to be killing me after today, though. It was already killing me yesterday. So Ziggs just kind of continuing to shove wave. What's really nice about Ziggs, and what I haven't talked about yet, is look how far back he's standing, right? Versus look how far forward a lot of the other carries have to be to actually farm. Like, the distance that he can farm at is just ridiculous. Because he can get 2 bouncing bombs, you can set up the mines, and then you're good. Surprisingly, not that much of a gold lead for either side. The biggest one is the Kaisa and the Renekton, which are at 4 and 500 respectively. expect the Kaiser's gold lead to probably shrink down to like 300. So 0711 knows the timers here, so he might be trying to go for another invade. Basically because they both know when the enemy's jungle camps are going to be up. Once you get vision on red buff, it'll automatically tell you when it's going to come up, so you'll know for those camps as well. Pan should just be able to get the recall off here. Not going to be able to turret damage done because Olaf can kind of move this way, and then Pan should be able to get back out here in time. You can see Garen's already playing pretty far back compared to where he'd normally be, like about there. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just want to focus all of their attention on this side of the map and then just kind of leave Garen on an island. That's a nice flash hook. Almost hits, does force the flash evolution. You're always okay to trade flashes there. It's always good. Interesting that they're letting the wave get this close, and there we go again onto NGX, immediately prioing Rift Herald rather than prioing that Mountain Dragon. I feel like the Mountain Dragon though is really good, especially right here, so we'll see. So Dragon for Herald trade straight up. They're gonna drop the Herald mid, try to get a bunch of turret plates. It's not going to get the turret, and it's probably not going to get more than one charge. Dawn just doing some poke damage there. There's not really a lot of actual kill threat. So, what are we looking at here? So Barry's trying to shove wave in, make sure that Aaron can't get a recall as early as he'd like to. Looks like he does get the shove, and then Garen has a big wave crashing in this way into the turret. Or is it actually going to crash in turret or not? It looks like it's barely under turret. He just proceeds to go and run and grab the honey fruits as well. Really smart. Takes a turret shot, but like turret shots don't matter when you're playing Garen because of your passive. And they're just going to whack turret a bunch and then try to get as many plates as possible. Oh, there are 5 people up here. Holy shit. So this is one of those advantages that because he did get the wave shoved all the way in, he can come up here pretty freely, and Lucian has to clear the wave down here. They're going to give up some plates bot side at the very least, but hopefully it shouldn't be too many because you can see how fast the Garen is already moving that direction. Yeah, so they don't give up the full turret, but they give up a lot of plates for that play. Not a great trade, because there were more plates gained here than there were here. NGX also have started to amass a pretty sizable gold lead. A lot from that plates there. They got a lot of the plates there. Like they're doing very well for themselves in terms of plate gold. So it's about 2K. So yeah, you can see about what? That's about 1,200, 1,800, 600 gold straight off of plates. And then about 1.4K gold elsewhere, probably from the turret. That has actually just been destroyed versus no turret destruction on the side of JT. So now you're expecting JT to try to push in, try to grab a turret. Looks like they're just going to trade it for Lucian. Not necessarily a huge fan of Garen hitting turret there. It means he's going to get extra gold. Does Lucian get that tier 2 turret? Or JT just Omega trolling? The answer looks like yes. That's 2 turrets for 1, and then Lucian's going to get a ton of damage on tier 2. I don't like this wave management. It's really bad. You need the waves to be way pushed out here to actually, I think, do a lot of these plays. It seems like it's not resulting in a positive trade because it's now about what 2.2K, so they went up about 200 gold. Oh, they went up even more. They went about 700 gold, 800 gold now once the waves are getting cleared. Yeah, so it's about, right, like it's about 2.6, 2.7 is where it's stabilized. Um, yeah, it's not great play so far. Lee Sin going pretty standard. Yomu Black Cleaver. Not sure what he's building here. Aston's Reaver second makes sense. Straight into Warmogs here. Straight into Protector's Vow is an interesting choice for the Thresh. I'm also not seeing a lot of value out of the Thresh. Like, he's forced a few flashes, but there's nothing that seems really, like, cool and unique. Like, okay, why are you picking him R5? Right? Like, you're saving counter pick for this. What are you getting out of it? And it doesn't feel like the answer is a whole lot. So it looks like we're just gonna have a straight up 5v5 at Dragon here. And since NGX just gave up wave power, we'll just take turret for free. I'm trying to think blue buff. We'll see if he gets away with it. It doesn't look like he will. That's the only issue with the Garen is that the Olaf, you're really squishy when you do pop that Ragnarok, and you can kind of see that there. Not to mention he doesn't have the tank items that you like to have on Olaf, that Warmog's armor second. Oh, he hits the hook, silence, and Joshi is dead. And so, this should be Dragon secured. 3v4, both of the damage dealers are still alive, and the... Yeah, so Dragon secured, but it's a trade 1-for-1 now. Pan should get the kill here, and then Aaron, I think, is dead to Pan. Yep, Ari gets it. Really well played there. So J Team, they finally get the value out of the Thresh they're looking for right there, right? They hit the hook. And then they move back out of the team fight. That said, it's not actually that much of an advantage because NGX have that huge early lead, which this is about a 2K win, right? This is a 2K swing, and if you think about it, that 2K swing is just evening up how well NGX played the early game in terms of the wave management and the rotations. I think that so far they are a better early game team, which is really surprising to say because Chinese teams usually have great macro. But yeah, this hook is just huge. It means that Lee Sin can't escape and kind of has to go in because he's dead otherwise. Looks like the Luden's proc is actually what kills him there. The Ziggs chip damage from Luden's and Aerie does a lot of work this fight. Gets the final kill on Varus as well. So this is really nice because you can see that they aim sort of like this way and this way, covering both directions of retreat. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but if it is, it's really good. Just like really good intent of paying attention to where you're aiming. So yeah, you can see there, Ziggs had like 3 kills and is still 200 gold behind Varus. You can see the gold shot up right here. Pretty sure this is when they dropped Herald. And then it shoots up, and then this is the dragon fight where it shoots back down to about even. I think that you probably take J Team here because of the 2 dragons so far. If NGX can get a big lead again, I think it's their game to lose. But right now, I think it's J Team's game. At least it's that, and it's relatively even. Like it's not unwinnable. It's not unlosable for either team. That's a big gargoyle shield. That Garen gargoyle is really nice. Baits them all in. And I think at this point it's J Team favored. Like you just have to favor them because they're going to be. They're up 1.2k, 1.3k. They can probably just go do Baron. Yep. This is what I was talking about, where I'm like, a lot of these SEA teams feel like they're really not as gung-ho as they should be on Baron, at least in terms of timing. Joshi's not going to get here in time. So, 2, 1, 1800, dead. And then they get to kill onto the jungler as well. Yeah. Not bad stuff from J-Team so far. Really good comeback in terms of just taking the fights they needed, not doing anything stupid in the early game, even though their wave management was pretty poor. They let NGX get a lot of stuff for free that they probably shouldn't have. And I don't like that they started the Ziggs mid. I feel like that was a mistake as well. Because I feel like they could have gotten that first turret and not actually gotten this far behind. We'll see how far they decide to push this. Olaf just dropping Meteor to try to get the enemy team to sort of move out a little bit. You can just see how much of the Baron minions are being a problem here. Ziggs is taking the... I think that's a smart move there on Ziggs, moving forward to take the Lantern, because I think you die there if you don't take the Lantern, because you're really isolated. Like if the Alistar has this angle, I think he'll collapse onto you with the Renekton, but instead the Ziggs is over here with the Thresh right there, which means it's really hard to go into him without getting hooked. Baron. For those of you that are wondering what that gap is, this will also be third Drake, which I think means it's just J-Team's game here. So I don't really see how NGX win the game, especially through this, because J-Team just have so much control. That said, I bashed the Thresh pick a little bit earlier. It's not bad so far. I really like how it's playing. Joshi's not going to get to recall here. You don't get to... Nope, not how that works. You don't get to run into the enemy Raptors. You're just going to die. Yeah, he's dead here. I think he was trying to get an execute, but if you're just this far into the enemy camp, they're going to collapse on you every time. I think Aaron checks it when he's rotating. So this should be game over. They're just going to try to force this wave in here. Maybe try to force this wave in. No, it's too far. The wave over here is way too bad, way too far back. So just going to force this wave in, and then they might force the bot wave in. But once they get that, they can just kind of keep playing the game, because now NGX is going to have to clear the waves. Yeah, so somebody needs to go clear this wave. But they got their main objective, which was that inhib. About a 1k gold lead. Interesting, Olaf going Thornmail third. The Sterix Gauge has been a very popular item on him. Garen going Hullbreaker. So, much of the Grievous wounds over there, even though there's not necessarily a ton of healing over here, except for the Renekton, really. Yeah, so 7k lead plus 3 Drakes. I think I don't see how NGX really win the game with everybody on J Team basically having a 1k gold lead. Right? It's about 3/4 of an item down. And Baron has just spawned, so I'd expect J Team to be posturing for that relatively soon, or just trying to shove in a wave somewhere. Like either I think if you're J Team, you just try to hard force bottom or mid, or you just start hovering around Baron and clearing out vision and trying to force NGX to come into you to make a fight happen. You can see just the power of Ziggs here, like, just doing a ton of damage. And this is the end of the game. You can also see that the wave was already way in here, right? Because of the super minions. One. Okay. Let's talk about draft a little bit. Hold up, right? There we go. That's way too far forward. Okay, cool. So this is what, Alistair? So B1 Alistair. Fiora, Garen, Jax. They banned Jax. They banned Fiora. They banned Gragas. And then what else do we got over here? Varus, Renekton. I'm gonna go Varus, Renekton. They ban what? Nautilus and Rakan. Can't spell. And then they 4-5 Lee Sin. Lucian. Red side. They first picked Ziggs. I know that. They banned what? Camille. They banned Ornn. They banned Jace, didn't they? Yeah, they banned the Jace. And then what else did they ban for phase 2? Kha'Zix, Yone. Oh. I fucked that up. Cool. And then what did they pick? They picked Ziggs, Garen, Olaf, Kai'Sa, Thresh. Ziggs, Garen, Olaf, Kai'Sa, and then Thresh. So I think that this draft is sort of salvaged a little bit. Like I said, I feel like when you pick the Kai'Sa on R4, you're telegraphing either, you basically give them one of two options, right? Option number one is this, right? Where you're like, okay, they're gonna pick some weird support on R5, and option number two is they're just gonna go Braum on R5. Well, I can't click on Kai'Sa apparently because I can't click. You're just like, okay, cool, they're just gonna go Braum R5. That said, they do go Thresh R5, which is, I think, a pretty good pick, actually. And in terms of how it was, in hindsight, with how it was played, Thresh looked not bad. Like I said, it was a big question mark for me. I was like, I don't know how much value this is going to be. So the other thing is, I don't really like how this draft played out in terms of J Team's picks. I think that it's a lot better to go, like, if you go, I think you go Renekton here, and then they have to take Garen, and I think you like your matchup a lot better. So I think that Renekton just straight up hard beats Garen. The other thing is, you can also, I think, take the Kai'Sa here, and then leave the Olaf, because the Olaf hasn't been banned, and I don't think they're going to target out jungle picks, given that they haven't picked a jungler either, right? Like, if you're like, okay, we really want to ban these two, you can still ban them anyways. Like, there's no problem, because you still have volley. You still have, because, like, here's the thing. You're still going to have, right, like, you're still going to have, let's just look at the champions. You still have Aatrox playing in jungle. Very good. You still have volley, who isn't banned. You still have Evelynn. You still have, like, the Olaf, which they pick, right? There's still a lot of good jungle picks that are up on the board, and I don't, like, you still have Vi, you still have Wukong, who can both be played relatively well right now, and so I don't think there's a lot of issues picking the Kai'Sa 3. Other than that, I think JT Omega, or I don't get this. This rotation is very popular for SEA. I think that it's just, I think that this, I think that's just better. Like if this is your team composition, you're hard winning. I think this is just hard winning, where you have the Zeri, the Aatrox. The reason I say this is because I think that because of how Lee Sin plays, you can get value out of picks like Thresh, right? Because Thresh just kind of sits in an area and makes Lee Sin unable to do any sort of mobility, right? Like, who? Let's go back, because Lucian is like sort of acceptable if you're like, okay, I really want to play Lucian specifically, but who is Lee Sin kicking, right? Who does Lee Sin kick here? Because you can't kick Ziggs, because Ziggs has satchel charge. You can't kick Garen, because Garen is a tank. You can't kick Olaf, because the moment you run at him, he's just going to pop Ragnarok. And, like, even then, if you kick him into your team, he's just going to kill Varus, he's going to kill Lucian. There's no reason to kick him. So then, okay, so no kick, no kick, no kick. Okay, cool. We're thinking R4, R5 here. You see Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa is not a kick target, because Kai'Sa can just use her ultimate to dash to, like, the Alistar or something, and she is now out of kick range, or, like, she's out of kill range. And then obviously they're not going to pick a support that's squishy enough to die to a kick. So what is Lee Sin doing here? Why are teams picking him? He does nothing. I don't get it. Not to mention, right, you've got two frontliners, right, these two, and then you've got two people who really like to sort of poke, right? This is poke, this is poke. Why do you want somebody who's hard engage, right? Pick the Aatrox, right? Because Aatrox can play a follow-up, right? Aatrox can just kind of sit there, and he can use his Qs as a poke tool. He doesn't need to hard engage. Lee Sin doesn't have that type of poke. He only has Sonic Wave, and once Sonic Wave hits, you're kind of stuck there for, like, the next couple of seconds until it comes back off of cooldown, and since you can't use Q2 of it, it's going to come off cooldown way later. I also don't like the Garen pick here. I've already sort of talked about that. I think that it's just a losing matchup. Things like the Aatrox, things like the Gwen are playable. A lot of the other good top laners, in my opinion, are banned here, so I understand the need or the feeling of, like, oh, I need to pick a top laner. But, like, there's still plenty of fine ones that are playable. Like I said, Wukong, Aatrox, Gwen, all playable. Not to mention, you're on red side and you're just giving up counter pick here. Like, I understand you want to hold your support pick, but isn't it better to just show Kai'Sa? I don't get it. Other than that, I don't think that there's a lot of stuff they messed up on, but, like, I don't know. I really hate that R4 R5. It's so bad. I think it's actually just awful, because I think it just cripples your team composition, because you can also just, like, let's say you don't want to play poke, right? Then you can't pick the Lucian. You have to pick something like the Zeri, where you're going to be, because Zeri wants to go in, Lee Sin wants to go in, Renekton can go in, he doesn't have to, right? He can sort of try to jump in, jump out, play trades, and then Alistar can go in, he doesn't have to, though. So there's a lot of champions that it's like, I don't get why you have that. The other thing is, I think that the Jace ban is starting to hurt because it feels like they don't have any options once they pick Jace. I don't know. This is me off the goop. Okay, so that's really all I got. I'm just gonna clear this out, and then we're gonna go next, baby. Like I said, I hate the R4 R5 there. I think that is really what. Oh, what? We went from like 41 seconds to 326. What the fuck? Oh, I guess it was. Oh, I was looking at the other screen. Excuse me as I grab some water. So yeah, that's my piece. Anyways, I'm gonna continue losing my mind. We got 2 minutes to the next game. What do they even... I don't know what adjustments Nigma make here. I'm trying to figure it out. That is my question. Like, what kind of adjustments should you make if you're the Enigma team here? First of all, you don't pick the Lucian, you don't pick the Lee Sin, because I think also if the Zeri gets gold, like if the Zeri is as fed as the Lucian is, you don't lose that game. I think also you might want to start picking like the Swain. It's funny because he's on the screen, but I think that he definitely has value in terms of how Nigma are picking, or how Nigma are picking a lot of team comps that I feel like just don't have the ability to drag someone in. I don't know. It's also really, really, really funny to me how Ashe falls off the moment teams start having to play for something actually worthwhile. Just interesting that Ashe was always a good champion, guys. Always a good champion. I don't know, because like if these teams were really committed to proving that Ashe was good, I think that they'd pick her here. Other than that, is there anything else? I'm trying to think. Like maybe you try to get the Yone earlier. That's also another adjustment you could make. You try to get the Yone earlier in draft. I don't think that like gameplay wise, you're just getting beat in the team fights sometimes, and it's not like all the times, because there are sometimes Nigma win the team fights and it like looks really good, and so that's why I'm really interested to see what sort of adjustment they make to their team fighting comp to see if they try to start winning the team fights earlier and more often. You could also try some weird shit. Given how well the top lane ganks have worked so far, like that first game, you're like, what really worked for us was like abusing top lane and getting our jungler Omega ahead. you could play like a supportive top laner, like low econ, like a Lulu, like a Janna, something like that. That like the entire objective is to just try to support the jungler, and then you could do the good old at 4 minutes you're gonna swap them once the jungler paths from Krugs, and then they start clearing on the other side. You can just swap with them and then have them there as well. I think it's an option. I don't think it's something that Nigma will go for. It doesn't seem like their play style. Um, It'll also be interesting to see if they go back to the Riven. They didn't pick the Riven last game into that Garen. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to choose that Riven into that Garen, see if they like that matchup. Like if maybe the read from J Team on picking the Garen was like they won't pick Riven into this, and that's a way that we can shut off a opportunity for them to gank, right? Because the Riven was really good for those ganks early. Other than that, what adjustments do you make? I think you stop prioing Herald. The SEA teams put way too high prio on Herald. Like you're giving up Infernal Dragon, which is like what a 4, 8, 12, depending on dragons. 4% damage boost is actually just like early game. That's really really good, and it makes a huge difference. So yeah, that's also big because like that's before everyone will have armor, before everyone has the sort of like the straight up armor that a lot of the other like before they have the armor from their levels, before they have built armor. That's a lot of damage that's going in straight into your health. Okay, get me into draft, baby. I wanna start drafting. Okay. Again, you'll notice first thing, NGX pick red side, J Team on the blue side now. I don't know why teams are picking red side. It feels like the draft is a lot more constricting on red, at least in my opinion. I feel like you'd rather be blue every day of the week. Um, Jace makes sense. Varus makes sense. Ornn makes sense. I'm expecting a Ziggs ban. That makes sense. Ziggs has been like even if they even if you don't think Ziggs is a problem, J Team thinks it's good enough to first pick it, so it's worth a ban. Yone makes sense. So Camille, yeah. Camille is like that's the next one. So you've still got Volibear, you still got Ashe, you still got Gragas, you still got Nautilus. If they've still got Alistar. If you lock in Gragas here, I think it's not that great unless you specifically want the Gragas versus Nautilus or Gragas versus Alistar, right? Because you have the choice here, Gragas versus Alistar, or you can give the enemy the choice picking the Volibear. Alistar makes sense in response. Next best on the board. Kaisa makes sense. Don't pick the goddamn Garen. Oh my god. Why are we looking at like the Zeri. Yeah, look at that. 64% win rate versus a 47 on Garen. Kha'Zix makes sense. Just trying to get that jungle because they've been targeting out jungle, right? 2 jungle bans already, and they're going to target out the pool here. Ban the Vi makes sense. I think it's better to ban like Volley first. Keep it open because I feel like you kind of have to ban Volibear here. Like ban Volley Evelynn if you're going to ban anything. Those are the 2 most played junglers for 0711 at this tournament, I think. Renekton makes sense given that you have the Garen here. You're just trying to secure a favorable matchup. Like, Jax and Fiora are still both open. Why are you not picking one of them? There's no way Garen is that high prio. We've regressed as a society. Volibear makes sense. I'm going to rescind my take. I don't like the Vi ban. I think that Evelyn is just a better ban. Because you know that they're willing to play Evelyn, and you're also pinching their AP pool a little bit. Because although Zeri does a good amount, and Gragas does like an okay amount, it's not enough in my opinion. Corki makes sense, just trying to get rid of that secondary option. I expect a Fiora, Jax, or Riven here, or a Swain. Let's see if they lock it in. They're really holding this. They're thinking about it. Swain makes sense. I talked about it earlier. I like this adjustment. I think that it's good. They're not actually going to pick Brand. Because J-Team have been really, really going in on those extended team fights, and the value of the Swain in those extended team fights is good. And in response, the Aatrox, yes, yes, yes. And the Ashe? Question mark? I will say okay on the Ashe. And then the Riven. So they pick the Riven into the Garen. Yeah, in that case, I don't. Garen is just a big fucking question mark. Because you could have Jax, you could have Fiora. Like, both of those champions are better than Garen, in my opinion, so far. Not to mention, you've already got a secondary bruiser in Aatrox. I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, at least in terms of how it's been played so far. We'll see if it continues. I think NGX have a slight edge in draft. I think that there's definitely, obviously, like, I don't think any team is hard winning right now, but I like NGX's draft, I think, more than J teams. Okay, in the game. So Barry coming out mid, Pan going bot. So it seems like they're taking Barry to be able to play more of the ADCs. Looks like a full-on 5-man coming straight to mid into a lane swap. I don't know if they showed on vision, but it looks like they showed enough to where Dawn thinks that he needs to get the secondary HP. Yes, Gathering Storm. Giant Slayer, not bad. Interesting, no Mastermind. Don't like that again. Not a fan of Scorch either, so yeah. I'm not sure what NGX are doing here. They're just giving over turret plates for free. They didn't get any in response. Like, I don't get it. Because there's no turret plates. Yeah, as you can see, Hyde is now not level 2. There's no turret plates gained. They just recalled for no reason. Like, if you're gonna lane swap, you have to commit to it. It's too late to swap back, because then this happens and you're just down 500 gold early game. Also XP, but you know, that's something to consider afterwards. There's no gank here onto Barry. Oh, I guess there is. He flashed the wrong direction. You saw he flashed that way. And he doesn't have his dash, so that's a really good gank then. Just a mistake as well from Barry. I think Aaron probably tries to just shove this wave and then recall. I think you do want to get a recall off, because I think that the Zeri will have enough to get at least probably a tier, and that makes it really hard to lane if you don't get the recall. That's insane. Uh, Ignite? Question mark? Question mark pings? Why are you igniting there? It does nothing. Like, Garen will just regen. You can see him right now. He's just regenning all of his health. That does literally nothing. Oh, that feels bad. You can see Aaron accidentally gets hit by the sweet spot there. Joshi? Oh, looks like he's just trying to force something out of Barry. Doesn't get anything. Dawn now needs to back up. However, the gold lead is evened out a little bit. Looks like Kaisa got to play bot lane. They should get the Demolish proc off here. And they hit the stun onto Aaron. Can they get the kill onto Swain? They can. Doesn't look like there's any follow-up. It's just going to be a 1-for-1 question mark? Nope. Yeah, Demon Kite coming there is not... Ironically, I think his damage contributions were less important than the fact that he just grabbed the honey fruit. Which means that it's impossible for Barry to actually live. So Barry gets hit into this, which I think is actually the reason why he dies, because you have to go over this wall, right? And so then he can't really escape as he'd like to. It's 2-for-1 with a plate, probably in favor of NGX. Then you can see the gold lead has sort of swung in their direction. Just stopping the back there with the arrow. It's one of the nice things about Ashe is that her arrow cooldown is fucking ridiculously fast. Not a huge fan of Yomu's start on Aatrox. I prefer Black Cleaver, personally. I think it's just a little bit better to get that armor reduction early. So Manamune coming in for both of our AD carries on the side of blue. I think Yomu probably goes the Yomu's or Aatrox goes Yomu's because Garen has Black Cleaver. Same thing for Kha'Zix. Usually going to start Yomu's. Roa makes sense. Pretty standard builds all around. Kha'Zix rushing that early Grievous wounds to stop the Aatrox healing. I wonder who will do it on J-Team side, or if they buy any Grievous wounds at all. I feel like you want to have like Zeri or Ashe maybe try to buy some of it. Barry did not need to flash there. I think that's a bit of a waste of a flash. Gets the stun onto Aaron, and Zeri's just going to annihilate them here with Aatrox. That's a really good Ashe arrow coming straight down the map. Hits straight onto the Swain. That lets the Gragas immediately cask, and then, yeah. And then Dawn is just, yeah, he's going to take this fight under Joshi. Try to stop him from doing Herald as much as possible. And then, yeah, they're not going to be able to do Herald. They're going to get double objective here. Yeah, because Pan's just zoning while Dawn lets 0711 come in from this side. Swain's going to pop his ultimate. That feels like a little bit hasty. There's no real way that you're going to win this team fight, it feels like. Oh, they actually do get 2 kills. So, overall, doesn't feel awful for NGX. Really nice flash there, just going straight past the Alistar. And so that's a 2-for-1 under turret. So what? That's like what? 4 for 2 for 4, I think, which isn't bad considering that you got both Dragon and Herald. Obviously worst Dragon to get, but the minions do get the turret as well. That's interesting. I think you just drop Herald mid here, try to get the Zeri fed as possible. Maybe have the Ashe there as well. Yeah, so that's 2 deaths already. And then they're going to trade 2-for-1 up here. So it's a 4-for-1 actually, which I think is probably a lot worse. Just the amount of XP going over probably isn't worth it. That said, they're going to get this Herald. They can probably get another charge off as well, it looks like. Which means that this mid turret is going to be yeah, really low. Sorry, I'm trying to maintain on this mode so that I don't get the little YouTube arrow right there, the lines. So they're gonna get the kill on a Garen here, but big gold leads right now, about 2k. Hit the stun on the Ashe arrow. Oh, Aaron's dead. Oh, he's not? Does he get out? Oh no, that's a really nice flash. So that's one of those things that you know, if you're paying attention, the flash body slam where you go here, you'll flash to right about there. The body slam will continue for about half a second more, and then you'll get the stun with the body slam. You can do it with a lot of other things like the Vi as well. The Vi punch, I know it works with. So you gotta be feeling really good if you're J team right now. You get the 2 turrets. You have about a 4k gold lead, and it's really in it's in your carry, at least your Zeri. A lot of it's in the Gragas, but that's obviously not super helpful. Looks like they're posturing for Dragon. Good jump away by Kha'Zix, avoiding the arrow there. Teamfight's going on. Ashe is sort of isolated here, or is it Zeri sort of isolated here with Ashe only on her side, but it looks like Ashe is going to get that kill in response. Can Joshi... Yeah, so no isolation damage there is huge, because it means that he can't get the kill onto Pan, and Pan is going to live here. It's going to be a full wipe. I think this is just over already. It's 9 minutes in. It's a full wipe for J team. Actually, no, not a full wipe. The Riven's alive. Or unless she just spawned. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Did the Riven die earlier? Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's a full wipe then. Maybe not necessarily an ace, but a full 5-man team kill here. Just really well played on the team fight. Barry getting out alive there is huge. Same with Pan. They're just unable to finish him off because he doesn't have that isolation damage. I think Barry gets killed in the back here, but we will see. Not a really huge fan of the fact that they're trying to target Kha'Zix with arrows. It feels really like a mistake to me. DY goes in a little bit too deep. Wave bot lane is relatively even. They can't push this wave in top. Not sure what the wave's looking like in mid. It looks like both are dead. Unfortunate missing the chains there from 0711. Manmune Triforce probably going to be Essence Reaver here for Zeri. Pretty standard. Swain going Rylai's second. This is a mistake. Check out, I tweeted about it a while ago, but the math on this is that you're getting more damage from both Riftmaker and from the Rabadon's Death Cap, and the Rabadon's Death Cap allows you to spike all of your items, right? Especially in this game where you don't know how long the game's going to be on Swain. There's no guarantee that you're going to get Rabadons. Like, you should be building Rabadons ASAP. This is not correct. Right, second. Aatrox going Divine Sunder. I don't really like that. I'm not a huge fan of that on Aatrox. I feel like you're not autoing enough to get the value out of it. Clearing out wards around the Baron Pit. Sandwich is getting vision on it here there. Alistair there. Like I said earlier, I talked about it yesterday, but you don't really care about those small Krugs. The important one is that big Krug, because that allows your team to get the conservation for your jungler. Ash has reached the stage of the game where she can just fire off arrows basically every 30 seconds, and that's what she's going to do. I wonder if they're going to try to do Baron here. We'll see. I don't think it's worth it. It's one of those, like, we're already far enough ahead and we can shove lanes in without Baron. So I think they're just going to wait on it and just try to force the issue later. They also might just wait for the Ashe to finish this item, which I expect to be Serelda's. Yeah, so Serelda's coming through. Zeri gets the Grievous wounds. Everybody has their boot enchants on the side of J-Team. This is the advantage of being ahead. You can just buy whatever you want for boot enchants. Ashe likely going Comet for when she hits an arrow on somebody close range. She can just pop the Comet on top of them and get the free damage there. Garen just maintaining this sideline pressure. The wave just pushing forward. Like you can see wave here, wave's going this way. And so now they can start moving to where they want to. They see 4 topside, I'm pretty sure. So they're just going to go for the fight. You see there, Joshi forced a flash based off of the arrow. The arrow's going to be off of cooldown way before the flash will, so they have the opportunity to do a repeat of that. Not to mention with the Aatrox ultimate, like, it is an extremely short cooldown once it hits that second upgrade, which I believe it should have. Might have also hit the 3rd upgrade, I'm not sure. I don't remember my paths very well. But yeah, it's got a lot of that cooldown reduction, a lot of that haste. They got the Yomu's, the Black Cleaver, which gives you a lot of nice haste. Yeah, you can see that Aatrox ultimate already coming back up extremely quickly. Really no issues with just popping it preemptively a lot of the times. So it looks like they're just going to posture for Dragon, not even trying to start Baron or force the issue. Dawn probably realizing that he's standing on top of the ward doesn't feel great, but like they just aren't able to do anything because he's so far ahead. Oh, Joshi's dead. That ignite might kill him. Oh, it doesn't. That's actually huge. Means that maybe he can get back to the fight. Doesn't look like he's going to have time, so that'll be another 3 Drakes conceded to J-Team. I don't think they purposely gave up Dragon, they just kind of lost the fight this time, but feels really bad giving up 3 Drakes again. Like here's the thing. Other commentators will tell you that like 3 Drakes is an auto lose. It isn't. However, to not be losing, you need to have the gold lead, because the Drakes are giving you stats, and you need to have adequate stats to offset the fact that your enemies are getting free stats in terms of Drakes, and you're not getting stats in terms of Drakes. So you want to have item advantage, stuff like that. However, when you're behind and you don't have item advantage, then it really doesn't mean anything. That's why sometimes Herald is really nice to start, right? Because you can get that item advantage if you have a gold lead, and then maintain it even if you do give up that first Drake, especially if it's a useless one, like the Ocean Dragon. However, I think that given how efficiently J-Team have been dragon stacking, as Nigma, you should really just be prioritizing that, because it's given them a lot of free stats, and they haven't shown the ability to want to take Herald as early as you, and so once you have that, you can be like, okay, cool, as long as we win this fight on Dragon, we're good. Obviously that didn't go well this time, and I mean, I think that you can trace a lot of Nigma's issues this game back to the bad level 1 start, right? Like just not committing to the double lane swap. I think hurt them a lot because it meant that their top laner was down in EXP, and they also just didn't have, like they just lost a lot early there, and so they were always just trying to fight back into the game instead of fighting the game, like just fighting straight up. We've reached the point where they really don't feel comfortable going for Baron. I was going to get that turret bot lane, which isn't bad, but he might die for this. Forced to flash. Dodges the arrow, but gets hit by the Aatrox Qs, and he's dead. And I don't know if Draw dies here. We'll see. But they're just chunking into him as well. You can just see how much damage that Zeri's doing. I really actually don't mind the Ashe, how it's been played this game. She's not, like, the Ashe is not trying to be the primary damage dealer this game. She is very clearly the secondary damage dealer, and the Zeri is the main focus of this composition, right? They've been trying to get the Zeri ahead rather than the Ashe. I think Barry, like, I don't remember him. I want to see when he last played, actually, because he's been playing extremely well. 2-1 for J Team. Let's see when Barry last played a game. Oh, so they had him in 4-3 versus Nova. So they've been putting him in every now and then, right? They put him in 4-3 versus Nova for the, oh, this is season 1. Oh wait, no, this is they considered it different. I forgot. Yeah, this is yeah. My goats. This is this season, yeah. So this is it. Like, so the last time he was in WRL, and then he just played versus Nova, and he's just coming in here, and he's just winning, which is, I don't know if this is an intentional, like, they're hiding strats or what, but, like, it's a great look so far. So I'm really trying to figure out what Enigma do here, because, like, they had the early game lead, game 2, and they lost. Like it seems like game 1 was really just like a flash on the pan. The adjustments from J Team have been really good once they had momentum. Just like game 1 was just, it was just repeat ganking top lane, and I think they need to do that again. But it doesn't seem like they know how to do that without playing specifically Jace and Kai'Sa and Riven. Like, the other thing is, I think that the comp they had game 1 was a poke comp versus, right, let's look at, what was game 2? Because this is game 2, right? This is not a poke comp. And this also is not a poke comp, right? Because game 1 they had so game 1 they had this, right? They've got 1, 2, 3 champions that are gonna poke. And then they've got Riven, who can kind of go in and follow up, and they got Nautilus to protect themselves. I think the answer is to pick champions who have more poke. I think you go like Kaisa, you go Varus, you go Jace again, or you try to go like Ziggs, Varus, or like Ziggs, Jace, or something. Like I think you're just trying to lean way heavier on the poke style here, and just trying to do the game that way rather than playing for a team fight victory. By the way, Barry has been Omega clutch. Barry has come in and just actually saved. I think he's been huge. Like it's. I talked about the Swain last game, or when I was talking about adjustments, I was talking about how I wanted to see the Swain, but I don't. If that's how you're gonna build Swain, just don't pick him. That's all I'm gonna say. That is not it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know what else you're gonna like. What? Like you've played a bunch of other shit. Like you could just try to play full on dive. Like just like pick like Swain, Gwen, Aatrox, and then like I don't know, Nautilus, and then like a Ribbon, and just full on run at them and then just try to kill them. Other than that, I don't know what you're gonna do. Hmm. Okay, we're back in the game. If I'm right, this will be our last one. I said 3-1, and I think this is what's coming true. I don't see a lot of fight from NGX right now. Ornn, Camille, and Jace. Ziggs, probably Ashe, maybe Gragas. There's one. Jax, I forgot about Jax. Jax makes sense here. Ornn. Ashe. Yep. So I was wrong about Gragas. That makes sense, though. I like the Jax better than the Gragas there, because Jax was really good game one. Okay, chat. I'm actually going to go piss real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Interesting. Not the Jace, but the Varus. I think that's a bit risky. Oh, unless this is your plan. So I think what they do is they expect the Gragas. I think that's what they're predicting here. And so they're like, okay, cool. We lock in Jace, we lock in Alistar, and then we will see how they respond. NGX go Yone. I'm a big fan of Yone jungle. I like the quirky. These guys are kind of rapid fire here, and I like that they're very confident in these picks. Not exactly sure about this. Aatrox, yes. I think Aatrox has been huge every game he's been played. He's still very good, and his buffs make him just, I think, probably a great jungler again. Kai'Sa is also good here, no issue with that. Both those champions are good. I think you like the Kai'Sa as well to match the quirky in lane. Banning Garen, okay. I'd be surprised if they didn't ban Aatrox in at least one of these slots. I feel like Aatrox Volibear is a good rotation. You might also want to throw like a Fiora in there, depending on if you think that they're going to play top lane Jace or not. Interesting that they do ban the Garen. This is a bit questionable to me. This is also wildly questionable to me. I don't think the Jace is going to go jungle. I think that is not something that 0711 would like to play. I don't think that's within his comfort style. So I am questioning that. It doesn't make sense to me. Lucian makes sense, however I hate it. So this is like, I both like that they're banning it because NGX have been picking it a lot. So you're just trying to force them to pick something different. But I also think that Lucian is just fucking hot ass. So it makes sense. But I just kind of hate it. So it's like, yeah. And then this is just an omega question mark. Like, 0711 has not played Lee Sin this season as far as I know. I don't know why you're banning these two champions. Like, he's just going to lock in Volibear or something. Renekton makes sense. But yeah, 5 he's got Volley, he's got Aatrox, he's got Evelynn. Like there is a lot of lock-ins here that are all good. Like all of those lock-ins are fine. So I don't know why you're banning either of those two champions. Vi makes sense. Makes sense. He's also got Olaf that he's played before. Yeah, these two. This is just an awful secondary ban phase. I think Nigma trolled this extremely hard. I like where everything's at though. The Yone flexed mid, I think is fine. You like the bot lane matchup. You're gonna have. They're gonna have Pan, I think, in the bot lane. Interesting. So you're going to have Pan play the Jace versus the Corki, and then they're going to have the Kai'Sa versus the Yone. Interesting that they chose this specifically because you could very easily put the Jace versus Yone, and then Kai'Sa versus Corki, and I think that you like this matchup better, and I think that you like this matchup better. I don't know why they're preferring the Kai'Sa into the Yone, unless they feel like the Kai'Sa can get really lane dominant. I feel like the Jace functions evenly well into both of them, so I don't really think there's a big difference there. I think that the Kai'Sa Yone matchup is a little bit weird though, especially if they ever have to side lane, because the Yone will just absolutely annihilate her. So, we're in the game. Let's see how this goes. What I expect to be our final game of the day. No lane swap shenanigans just yet, it looks like. Actually, it is. We have lane swaps, it looks like, at least to the top side. It also looks like Pan will be playing the Jace mid lane, while Barry takes the Kai'Sa ADC. Interesting, so early invade into this blue side jungle, show a lot of damage onto Hyde, plus that deep vision already. They also know he didn't start blue, they got the ward here. Oh, and they just basically push him out of his entire blue side jungle. That said, Renekton also getting the stop onto the early turret plates and covering the jungle a little bit, at least watching Gromp, it looks like. And so there's just not a lot of response, because Hyde has to go here, try to get to level 2, but by then I believe they can shove the wave in. And he's probably just going to, he's going to leash the blue buff out, it looks like, as much as possible, and then just try to, just make it take longer, right? Because now they know that the Olaf is rotating down this way. Looks like they're going to back off, actually. Or are they going to take the early fight? Oh, they're not going to get first blood. That's huge. That's huge. Dawn actually manages to make it out there with basically 0 HP. The blue buff does not get stolen back. And then NGX, I don't think NGX get any turret plates. I couldn't tell. I know that JT very likely didn't get turret plates. It doesn't look like they did. But you can't tell if NGX got turret plates. I don't think they did. But it looks like they got one. I can't tell. So Dawn here goes on to draw. They do the counter engage with Jushy and Demon Kite, and then they're just unable to kill Dawn 128. That exhaust comes in huge, and then they're gonna bury the first blood. Dawn's not gonna die. He's probably gonna miss a lot of the wave though. He's gonna be down a lot of CS. But that is what it is, and then they're just gonna keep pushing down into the turret. Yeah, that's really well played there. He just dashes out, makes sure he gets all the health regen off of the minions, and then he's gonna be able to clear the wave. Not a lot happening here. Olaf should just be, as far as I can tell, at least a little bit ahead. The gold lead's been closed pretty well. It's like only 300, and you can see that it's continually going down. NGX are just farming a little bit better, it looks like. Joshi does get the stack there, which is nice for conservation. It's always funny to me how people forget Olaf is good for about half of the season, and then come playoffs time, they always realize he's good again. It's just very interesting, this sort of like, because Olaf goes like this, and then they're like, oh, he's bad, and then he's good, and then he's bad. They're just, like, people just forget about him, and it's really weird. Because like he's basically been in the same state since he was good a year ago. Like there hasn't been many changes to him as far as I know. Don just trying to get that wave into turret. I think he should have let the plate die there. Like I consistently talk about, I think that letting plates die is a bit of an art because Dawn didn't hit turret, so we wouldn't have gotten any of the gold. JT has extended their lead back out to about 400 or 500 again. So it's really sort of ballooning between like basically even and 500 gold, which means that there's not really a lot of advantage going on. You can see the Riven has a nice advantage in top lane, but besides that, it's relatively in favor of J-Team here. Looks like they're just going to give up Herald and agree that they're just going to play the 1-for-1 game here. That said, I think this top turret is probably dead. Because they're just going to drop Herald and then get the turret kill. They might try to not drop Herald and just kill the turret anyways. We'll see. Great CC chain on to Jace there. He just can't play the game. I think DY is also dead here. That's a nice kill onto the Riven. At least it's a trade back, but you're losing the turret. That said, Renekton is wailing away in bot lane, and this is the weirdest scene I've ever seen. They're just basically wailing at each other's turrets right here. That said, whoever has the Herald there is just, yeah, they're always feeling better. Oh, that's a nice kill. Feels good to get that kill onto Joshi there. That said, a lot of turret plates, a lot of turret damage done, 2 turrets knocked down. So, yeah, got those first turrets. They also did knock one down in bot lane. Looks like the Renekton was able to get that one. So that is evening that what would be a massive gold lead out just a little bit. Yeah, so it's only about, what, 1k right now? Like 425? 1k mostly concentrated right there, and those 2 kills in that turret that the Yone got. The Renekton still hasn't recalled. He's been on that for a while. Looks like he finally got the buy, which you can see is pretty big, because he goes from Phage Kindledam to Black Cleaver, Vamp Scepter, and plated steel caps. So big change in terms of how he is getting his items there. So he's gonna be a lot stronger now in the side lanes. Oh, DY misses the headbutt pulverize. So you can see Riven gets headbutted there, and then he misses the pulverize onto her when she's over there. Missed that combo. Unfortunate. Renekton also knocks down the top turret, which basically means this lead is pretty much even now. 2 turrets down, so for both teams, so the lead is kind of gone. That said, we'll see if they can get back out here in time to stop the lead from extended. Dawn forced to flash, can't win the 1v1 with Aaron. That's the advantage of having shield bow there. It's really hard to win that fight. So they aren't able to get the turret in bot side. They can protect it. J team do get the turret in mid though, which feels really good. You really want to trade out that middle turret because that middle turret is really the first line of defense, right? It really opens up the ability to go into that side of the jungle through there and that side of the jungle through there, which opens up a lot faster rotations to try to kill the enemies on both sides of the map here. It also means that, right, if you do try to push wave out, you can push wave a lot further. You can kind of push to here if it's a 2v1, or here if it's a 2v1. And so you can push wave a lot further than you normally can with the turret not being there. Because usually you can only push to about there and then it'll kind of get just stopped by the turret. Aaron and Joshi just clearing wave and then they're going to recall. We got Ocean up in, what, 10-ish seconds it looks like. So they're just posturing around 0711, carrying out wards in the enemy jungle. You can see they got the pink there. They got the scuttle there. They got the other ward there. However, it's really dark for the side of NGX. No vision, especially in this area. So they clear out the pink here. They get their own ward down. And then they get a ward into pit as well. So they know what the Drake looks like. Clearing out wave there for Renekton. 0711 trying to come through this angle. Renekton's going to come through this angle. And then the rest are going to come through that angle. Team fight happens. They sort of try to jump onto the Renekton, but the Vi ultimate doesn't really do anything there. And 0711 gets hit with a really nice cask, which, yeah, he can't go in there. He's really just got to flash over and then come back in as a team. So that's unfortunate because the cask, he was sitting like right about there. Cask knocked him that way, so he really had that weird angle. This is really good. For NGX, first of all, you stopped the dragon stacking, which is how they won that game. Not to mention, you've really secured yourself a nice gold lead at about 2k. It's probably going to fall down a little bit, probably to about 1.7 once waves are cleared and stuff, but it's going to be bouncing between 1.7 and 2k, so you feel pretty good about your gold lead. Yes, you can see package juice there, but then this Olaf, or that's actually the Barry gets knocked up, he's forced out. Olaf gets knocked away from here, and then he's kind of stuck over here. He has to flash, but by the time he flashes, it doesn't really do anything. I think he just needs to get out earlier there. The other thing to consider if you're NGX here is I don't think you like your position that you're in because you have to win 2 games on red side, which there's only been 1 game won on red side so far, and like I don't think J team are in a great spot to win this game, at least right now. And so if you do win this game, you've really got to consider like we're gonna have to play red 3 games in a row. Or 2 games in a row, which doesn't feel great. So a really good jump onto the we can jump onto the Jace there. You can see the draw was just kind of sitting in that bush waiting. And then really they're just gonna win the team fight from here. Really good stuff. I think that's really good. Just sitting in that bush and being patient enough to wait. Especially for draw. The other thing is I don't really know why they were super fighting that one. Obviously it's okay, but I think that you don't want to fight over the blue buff a ton here. If you're J team, like I think you just kind of have to give a lot of these because you're down 3k now, and you were already down about 2k. Hold up, I hope they show builds. What was Olaf building? Because it looked like he didn't have... Oh my god. You should never build Black Cleaver on Olaf. It is not good. You should always build Triforce first. And then you should build Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver on Olaf isn't good. It doesn't synergize with his kit because you're going to be doing a lot of true damage anyways with your E's. And then you're going to be autoing. And if you need someone to auto, right, like, just buy Armor Pen in a different form. Don't buy Black Cleaver. It's really, really bad. Yeah, Black Cleaver on Olaf is Omega Troll. I don't know why he's building it. I don't. Interesting that the Alistar has chosen Zeke's Convergence second. I don't know why he's doing this. I don't think it's great. I'm a big fan of the Warmogs. I think that it's just the ability to go into a fight and tank and then escape is all really, really good. They're just gonna try to sneak Baron here, it looks like. It looks like JT aren't even gonna check it. I don't think they expect it at all. Oh, it looks like they're wising up to it now, but I think that DY can't get there in time. Yep. Really good Baron call, actually. This isn't going to last until Elder, but they should be able to secure a really, really nice gold lead and the Infernal Drake. I think hitting Infernal is a huge high roll for Enigma here, because they do get that Elder, or because they do get that Baron, so they basically confirm Infernal. So now I think Enigma are in the winning position, right? They've got 2 Drakes, and although one of them isn't great, the Ocean, I think that you're more than happy to just play for the Infernal and the Baron. I don't know if they can get an inhib here. It looks like they might be able to, actually. Because you can see they got the 2 waves pushing in, and then Yone is going to probably kill Renekton top lane. Yeah, they got a lot of the minions coming in. So Yone gets to kill into Renekton. I think this means they're going to at least get 1 inhib. If I get trapped in the enemy base, not a bad fight by any means, but it's a 3v4 now. At least for J-Team, they can sort of even out the gold a little bit. By a little bit, I mean, I think it's probably like, what, 9k to 8k? Hopefully they can clear out a lot of this vision in the jungle. You saw there, they had wards, like, they got a ward here. Pretty sure they had the Scuttle. They also got a ward here. They got a lot of vision throughout the enemy jungle. Really nice Alistar engage. I think the Vi just messes up Flash and doesn't get over that wall right there. And that's how they get the fight win, because the Vi can't escape. You can see that it does sort of slow the gold growth down a little bit from like 8k to like I think about 6k. And now we have the Elder Dragon fight. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, no way for 0711 to get in there. Pops the ward down. Only 1 sweeper on the side of J-Team here. So if there are other wards placed, they have no way to remove them. Same with Nigma, but Nigma haven't used that sweeper yet. It's on Vi and she's holding it. I don't think they spotted Alistar. It looks like they might have actually. But they do get the 2 wards here and here. They still haven't cleared out the ward in this bot side. They just popped the ward down right there. So they still have good enough vision over this area. Not a lot of vision over here though. I'm a bit surprised there's nobody matching the Riven right now. It looks like they might just try to send the Yone up against the Kai'Sa here on the side lane. Because it looks like Renekton's sort of filling both duties of trying to match while Jace is clearing mid with Olaf hovering. So I think they're just, yeah, they're doing like a 1-2-2 here where they've got the Renekton inside, and then they're having the Jace, Olaf hover mid, Kai'Sa, Alistar hover bot. This dragon should reset, yeah. So it's a bit unfortunate. Probably could be down to like under 7 at this point, but it's a little bit over that still. So DY has vision, he sees it's at 8, 7, 6. Oh, he hits the Vi. That's huge. So first of all, you can see that he hits the Vi over the wall. Jushi's dead. He gets out. Does the Olaf get the kill? Olaf gets the kill. He gets Aaron too. He gets Demon Kite as well. Olaf doesn't have the res though. And it looks like Renekton's not necessarily winning, but he's doing fine, right? He's clearing lane and clearing wave enough to be able to stop the Riven here, and they're just gonna kill the Yone, and then the Elder Dragon is secured. You can see they're trying to stall for as long as possible to try to make it last and see if they can get anybody else up. It doesn't look like they think they have the ability to do so, so they just take it because they're worried about maybe like the Corki coming back with package or something. I don't know if package was up though. No, package wouldn't be up. So probably just worried about the Corki coming back and him trying to steal it because he does a lot of damage. But yeah, that's a huge knock over this wall onto Jushi. He's stuck in the enemy team, which lets the Olaf just kind of run through here and get both of the kills that he's aiming for. He doesn't necessarily get the kill, but the Yone is forced out. You can see that he's forced out that way, and the Corki was forced out towards the bottom. And it looks like now they're just trying to go for Baron. Barry's in danger here. And Vi gets the smite steal. That's huge. So Vi dies, but that means that they have Baron, and it's going to be a lot harder to push in the wave here versus the enemy team. Hello, Brock, the dealer. Yeah, so that's a huge win for the Vi, because it basically means that this Elder Dragon isn't going to be able to do anything. She'll have Baron for probably about 20 seconds after Elder is gone, so they'll be able to get the waves to about here, respectively. And unless the team dies, I think that they're doing totally fine. That's high dead, so that's 2. That said, they need at least 4 or 3, probably more like it. 3 is probably the number to end the game, I think. I think 3 is our magic number here, because you need to make sure that there are no more than 2 people alive, and once there's only 2 people alive, I think that you can very easily win the game. Aaron forced out, has to pop the shield bow. Does look like they're not going to get that turret. Oh, that's a nice cancel. You can see that he pops his ultimate right as the Gragas cast goes down. Looks like it's on reaction, which is also very impressive. So we've got Elder coming up in probably about a minute and a half, and then Baron coming back up in about 2 minutes. I think they're actually going to respawn within probably like 30 seconds of each other, which is really, really bad, because it means that one of them, like, it's bad in the sense that, like, you want to be able to go for a trade then. Like, you can go for a trade, and I think that's really bad. Nice stasis, stopping the Yone ultimate. The package on top has to flash out. However, the Alistar hits a big knock-up. Does get chunked very low. Same with the Gragas, so they're both sort of forced out at this point. Looks like the Alistar has finished Warmogs, so both him and the Gragas will be back up to full health in a second. So they do have vision over this, and they also have vision over Jushi here. So if they can kill Jushi, that's huge. Basically means that they can pop this GA, and that's really big. This is not going well for Nigma. They've been caught out here. Jushi's GA does not get popped, so he still has that if he wants to try to run into Again, like we saw earlier, if he wants to try to do another smite steal on an angle, he's got the GA for that. But the support being down means you lack a lot of engage tools. Looks like they're trying to make sure the red buff gets on top of the jungler here. Just making sure that it stays up for a little bit. Okay, we're talking builds here. Looks like Kai'Sa's going to finish with the Nashers. Didn't actually build it earlier. Jace, I like the Jace build, even though there's not a ton of shielding here. I think it's good for the shield bow, good for the Vi shield, so that's 2 shields that are getting reduced. Riven going DD is a bit interesting. I don't know how many resets she's going to get there. Already talked about how I don't like Black Cleaver Olaf earlier, and so they do spawn at about the same time. It looks like 0711 and J-Team just straight up prioritize Dragon here. This is way too early from the Riven, and so that's like, you see the Riven goes in way too early, and that really exposes the rest of the team here. I'm just fucking drawing at this point. Vi goes in solo, it looks like, and she's dead. That GA really didn't do anything. Draw is dead here as well. And Olaf is going to revive with his health. You can see Pan makes it out with literally 1 HP. I think Corki should be able to get out here. He's probably in, yeah, he's right there. Oh, they see him. Oh, and he doesn't get out. That is unfortunate. Yeah, DY actually having the foresight to run around, right, like run around right there. Because he realizes that the Corki's going to try to get out that way. So that's why he runs off about halfway through. Kai'Sa finishes the Nashor's Tooth. You can see Dawn is just kind of sitting here, trying to make sure his GA doesn't get popped. And he pops the Dominus to get that extra health. And then the GA gets popped off. Hyde TP's in, and then what? Hello? You're both TPing? Oh my god. Okay. So Joshi is here. He's alive. Aaron's shoving mid-wave. He's going to get that mid-inhib, but I don't think it does anything. Like I was saying, the mid-inhib is the least valuable to have because the enemy should always be clearing mid-wave anyways. It looks like NGX, on the other hand, are not going to be trying to force the Baron. They're going to be trying to force Elder. Looks like J-Team have also realized the fact that it's probably just better to force Elder here. Although they like Baron, I think Elder is just way more valuable in this scenario. They do catch out Yone, which is that's a feels bad moment because Yone's just trying to clear wave, and there's really nothing in response. Are they trying to push wave in? This makes no sense because, yeah, the Renekton will just pop Dominus. He can push wave out, and if they need to, they'll just send Jace that way as well. But now they've just sort of given up control over the objective. You can see right there, right? He's going to get the knock up and then just kind of sit around here and be annoying. Because now they know that the jungler is over here, and so if she goes in, they're going to try to stun her and kill her. You can see that it's literally all just about the junglers right here. They're just trying to kill Joshi as much as possible. Oh my god, 0711 needs to win a smite fight. They're going to win this game. Oh my god. Barry's dead here. Oh my god. This is twice. If anybody watched the videos yesterday, I was saying, but 0711 lost a lot of the smite fights in the game against JDG, and it was really, really bad for the team. And it looks like he's having the same issue again. So this is not going well. Looks like this game should be over, actually. NGX have the minion wave here. Yeah, game's over. That's insane. Oh, J-Team should have won that game so many times. Oh, 0711 win a smite fight, please. We will pop open Twitter and we're gonna tweet. This is just actually insane. Looks like we're getting a quick break. I want to see that last one again. Specifically, I want to see this is when J Team had the Elder. This is before it, I think. I want to see that Smite fight again. I think it's around here. Yeah, this is it. This is the fight. Yes, this is a good catch out onto Aaron. And then they're just going to collapse onto the dragon. They're trying to clear this mid wave, which doesn't do anything. Like there's no winning continuation if you clear that mid wave. They're never gonna let you clear the Nexus just because of that. And so they just start chunking Elder. DY sneaks in here, having lost vision. And then Joshi. So let's watch this. We're gonna slow this down because I want to see. Hold up. So 26, 20, 14, 123. Damn, he just smites early. Yeah, so you can see it go down to what? 1243, 1207, 123, and Joshi just smites after him. So your 7-11 just loses a straight up smite fight. This man cannot win a smite fight to save his life. So I think the route to win the games for Nigma is just flip objectives. Like straight up, I think the answer is you just go and then you just flip. Like you're just aiming to flip objectives, and then just hope that when you get into the pit, like that you can just dash over the pit, and then just kill the objective. Hold up, we're gonna do this in full color. Right, so blue team will be standing like right here. This will be 0, 7, 11. Just gonna put the 7 there. And then the objective, the neutral objective will be like right here. This is our X. And so you're just gonna keep doing this because it just seems to be working. Like, I don't know. This is just, it's a travesty to watch. Oh God. Just watching that made me, because J Team should not have lost that game. They were just team fighting better. They were just fighting the fights better, and there was zero sort of like fight from NGX. That said, I think the first Baron call was really what I think made the game the most important. Right, like if we're talking, that first Baron secured them Infernal, and that was huge. I think it was just a mistake from J Team. They didn't respect it. That's an easy adjustment to make on J Team's side, though. I think you just respect the Baron play a little more. Because the Yone and the Vi just took it extremely quickly. They might have just not thought that they had time. Yeah. The other thing I want to highlight is that number. That's a huge disparity. a lot more involvement from J Team on the map. I think Enigma are just trying to keep like I don't see a common thread at least right now. I might go over these games later in my own time and see if I can figure out what the common thread is between the Enigma wins. But I don't see anything. I just see yep, yep. That makes a lot of sense. I don't see a common thread. I just see like he's just he's just smiting better. Well, it's you're not listen. You're not gonna see this very often. Like that looks bad, and you're like, how did he win MVP? And then you watch the game and you're like, ah, yeah, yep, that's me. My 165 MVP. Yeah, like I said, I don't think if you're I don't think you're trying to make adjustments if you're J team here, and I don't even know what Nigma are doing. I don't I okay. Like I guess they're just Nigma are just they're doing their best. Yeah, 'cause I don't see the this Nigma wins are just I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I understand why they won the first game and I understand why they want this game. But there's no common thread. Like I don't like if you were to play this series out like 40 times, I feel like J Team win like 30 of the games. Like I feel like these are just miracle happenings that I'm watching. And then I don't know. Okay, back into the game, thank God. The issue is like I just don't even know what to do in between games. Like, it feels like there's too much time to kill. Varus, again, we saw this last time, but on the Nigma side, so they're banning Varus, makes sense. Jace makes sense. I'd expect Ornn, I'd expect Camille. They really have that third ban slot for flexibility for whatever they want, so we'll see what they try to pick here. Just gonna read you my little check marks. Yone. Interesting that they banned the Yone. They might not have liked the side lane matchup there specifically. Ashe ban makes sense. They might not have liked the side lane ban or the side lane matchup against the Yone, so that makes sense to me. Because especially just being unable to contest the Renekton, I think feels really bad. No Ziggs first pick this time. Instead, the Gragas makes sense. Like I've said a bunch of times, probably the best. DY is vibing. He is big chilling. Ziggs. This is interesting. NGX haven't played it as far as I know this tournament, at least in WRL Finals. They've obviously played it before. Ziggs has been around for a fucking minute. They go Ziggs, they go Kai'Sa. I think the idea here is to just grab whatever you think are the two best carries at this point, and then just like leave the rest for the enemy. That said, if they do go Kai'Sa here, I think that they're at a bit of a risk, because if they go like Zeri and then Swain, they really have like the ability to go full all in if they go like Zeri, Swain, Zeri, Aatrox here. I think you have to pick at least, or like Corki, Swain, Corki, Aatrox. I think you kind of have to pick one of your ADCs here, because if they ban Zeri, Corki, you're kind of fucked on 3-4 here, or 4-5. Zeri, like I was saying, makes a lot of sense, what you kind of expect here. I would expect them to start making a full dive. I think Corki, Swain, Aatrox are all good picks here. Maybe you go like the Jax or like a Jinjiao or something. You go Jax, you can ban out like Fiora Riven here, or technically right here if you want to. Jax makes sense to me. He's been banned the first few games, right? Because he was really good in those first games, and then Nigma started banning him here instead of the Ashe. They're gonna pick the Riven in response, though. This was really the matchup they abused in game 1. That Ashe on, or that Riven onto that Jax. They tried to abuse that matchup a lot, so I really like it. I think the Riven's been at least not necessarily bad, but I think it's okay for Nigma. The Corki ban is a bit questionable to me, because I think that the Zeri can easily go mid, and I think that like they've shown willingness to play traditional AD carries. Jhin is bad, they've played it. Lucian is bad, they've played it. You can also, even if you wanted to, pick like a Senna here, or like a Swain or a Zoe for the bot lane. Also, I like this, really getting rid of that next best support pick. I'd expect maybe a Nautilus right here then, just to see what they're doing with that. What are they going to ban here? This is the question for me. I don't really know. I think Aatrox and Swain are good shouts. That's what I ban. Aatrox, Swain, Olaf, actually. Karma is interesting, because I feel like if you're banning anything, you ban Zoe instead. Not the Nautilus, but the Vi. I don't mind that. I think Naud is also a good shout. Kha'Zix makes sense, probably the next best jungler, so I like that. Other than that, what else are we looking at here? Zoe, like I said, makes a lot of sense, probably the next best AP carry. There's zero way in hell you ever pick a Vex here. Stop trolling the hover. Yep. No. Oh my god. You just pick Aatrox and you win the game. You pick Olaf, you win the game. You pick Wukong, you win the game. Instead, you pick the worst champion in the game for jungle. No, stop picking this god-awful champion. He's not good. I think NGX have just won draft here. Straight up because of this pick, I think JT lose draft. Obviously, the Zoe's a little bit worse than the Ziggs, so you're not feeling great there. I'd say that Zoe is like a 5 out of 10. Ziggs is probably like a 7 in my book. 10 out of 10 being like the most broken OP thing ever. So I don't like the Lee Sin. I think that's the biggest issue here. Yeah, I think the Lee Sin is just the biggest issue, and he's probably, if they lose the game, I'm gonna be looking at that Lee Sin pick right there, and then being like, okay, buddy, fix yourself. Anyways, game 5, best of 5. This is the final game. Let's get it done. Okay, so any lane swaps early? It doesn't look like it. Interesting that it looks like there's 3 coming out mid. I expect them to probably just get some early vision and then rotate bot. Same as what the Gragas and Zeri are doing. If this Nautilus does start mid, I'm going to be very confused. Yeah, they can. Is he just trying to grab the small ones? Question mark? This is fucking weird. Because you're just making the enemies clear faster. And yeah, they're going to rotate, and then if DY hits 2 here, the game is over. What was that play? I don't get it. And they also now know that Kha'Zix started blue because Lee Sin just scouted right there. So Lee Sin can go very comfortably over here, and they can try to invade here. Looks like Nautilus is trying to match that, but I don't know. That makes 0 sense as a play, right? Because there is no way getting Raptors is worth giving over that kill. Not a million fucking years. Pan hits 3. Aaron's a bit ahead. But it looks like they're just going to fight this. Oh, and that's unfortunate that the Zoe bubble misses. That's a second miss. Zoe hits the sleep, but he gets out. Lee Sin follows. Yeah, this is just better fighting. Like, the way that you've won these games as Enigma is through farming, right? You've won through farming better. That's how you've been getting your early leads. Farming. God, I can't. This is why I'm not an artist. F means farming. You've won the game through farming, and you've also won the game through stealing. You have not won the game through fighting, which I'm going to put T for team fight. You've won the games through these 2 methods, not through this method. So I don't know why you're opting in to team fights early, where J-Team have shown to be better in the straight-up 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 skirmishes 90% of the time. It doesn't make sense. Aaron's got a pretty big lead in mid in terms of XP. I don't think he has a very large lead in terms of gold, though. I'd have to see it, but you can see right now they don't have them matched up against each other. They have the Zoe matched up against the Zeri. I'm not sure why Barry's lining up as the mid laner when he's been playing bot lane all the time, but we'll see. I don't know if that scouted Nautilus or not. If it did, that's very useful information. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're farming better, right? They have 2 kills, and they only have a 300 gold lead. So imagine if you didn't have 2 kills, right? They'd be about 600 gold down. You'd be up about actually 200 gold at this point if you're Enigma and you didn't fight. It makes zero sense to fight early, right? Is he gonna... Nope, doesn't miss the cannon. Just trying to leash as much of those minions as possible, try to get them early. Kha'Zix is going for a gank here, you can see. They've tried to exploit that top side a few times, but it looks like they've got 3 on the move, so they're going to need to be fast here, or they're going to need to back off. That's a big chunk for Hyde. I don't know if JT try to stay here. So they're going to force Hyde to take maybe not necessarily an optimal back here, it looks like. They do have vision here, so you know that they know that Joshi is still around here. Gets the big one, but he's forced pretty deep here. And you can see that now they're taking all this space into jungle, and they're just going to try to 3-man top dive Hyde. Jax gets the kill. Good turret aggro between Pan and DUI, and then 0711 immediately starts up Dragon. I'm pretty sure they still have the wards there and there, so yeah, I think they see a lot of these members coming through. Again, I don't know why you're prioing Herald here when you're behind. Like, this is not the time to prio Herald. You need to get this Mountain Dragon, I think. I expect them to drop Herald here, we'll see. Oh, that's not good. Joshi is going to barely just live, but I don't know if he has time to drop Herald. And DUI cannot get out either. So this is going pretty well for Enigma in terms of they're getting the gold lead that they want, but they haven't been able to convert any of the gold lead games, at least in terms of straight up fighting, right? When you think about the wins, that first game, I don't think it was necessarily just the gold lead that won them that, especially that last game. That said, they were able to convert the gold lead game yesterday, so we'll see. So the biggest lead is, oh, that's a bit unfortunate. He kicked him the wrong direction. If he's out in the middle of the lane, he's dead. But that was a nice sleep kick combo. So you see the objective here at the very least. They're trying to just sleep and then get a kick off of that. Is Hyde dead? Barry takes 2 turret shots. He's dead, and then he is able to get out alive, and he'll get the turret as well. Looks like that should be first turret gold. So you can see that they're pushing in top lane. I think they're going to continue. They're going to shove that wave bot, probably reset, go top, make sure there's no super hard push. Maybe try to push out mid a little bit, try to take down that turret. But I don't think this is a good decision by Hyde, because Zeri has the ability to just kind of play around the turret aggro, and you really can't. That said, they get both mid and top turret, so I think you're feeling pretty good as NGX. And Ziggs can clear this wave, but I don't think he's going to do it quick enough. Yeah, they need to ult that earlier. That said, we're looking at a 3v3 top side. Draw is isolated and can't get back to his team, so he's dead. The assist gold is given over to Zeri, which is nice because he does stasis. I don't think you stasis there. I don't think it's worth it. You're never living, and Zeri getting assist gold is not good. You want it to be you want to have the least farm as possible. You can see Dawn trying to deny the cannon, and then he kills the other cannon. Makes sense. I'm not going to be able to stack a wave there, so he's like, I'm just going to deny the cannon and move on. Looks like Ocean in about 30 to 45 seconds. So we will look for that starting up soon. I think that's where the next major fight's going to happen, or the next major objective. I don't know why we're just fighting here in the middle of Dragon Pit with nothing of value for the objective going on. Pretty standard stuff, it looks like, for each of the teams. Not sure why Ziggs is going Morello here. I feel like you just want to power your items straight up. Kaisa's got a nice lead right now, which you feel really good about. That's probably the most important champion besides the Ziggs to have the lead on. So they'll have mid lane push as the dragon gets started up. I believe they saw both the Ziggs and I don't know if they saw the Kaisa there, but they know Kaisa's here, and I'm pretty sure they saw Ziggs on the rotate, so they know that Ziggs is going to be over in that direction. So I think that's why they're positioning themselves this far back to where it's really hard to hit them with a lot of the poke. And 0711 loses it again. It's honestly impressive at this point. Hyde is dead. Pan Flash is in for it though, so he dies for that. I don't know if they're going to continue fighting this. I don't feel like it's worthwhile. Yeah, just for those of you that were paying attention to the bot side, 636. That's how much damage the Lee Sin did that team fight. This champion is fucking dog shit. Don't pick him. Like, look at where he's at. He's trying to play stealthy, right? The idea is that he's going to play stealthy. He kicks the Kha'Zix away, and then tries to snipe, but he just gets knocked up because he jumps into the middle of the enemy team where the Nautilus is just going to hit him. Like, it's an okay idea in theory, but it doesn't actually work based on how you have to play out the team fight, because there's just so much CC. And he's building. Yeah, look, this ain't it, dog. This ain't it, chief. 2.8k up, right? Listen, there's a reason NA doesn't play Lee Sin anymore. It's because he's an awful champion, right? If you're only good in the early game, then 90% of Wild Rift past 10 minutes is late game. Like, you need late game utility, and kick doesn't cut it, right? Like, think about what that kick did. It does nothing. The kick doesn't do anything there. Anyways, NGX 1.8k up. I think they're going to win this game. I honestly think we will see a non-Chinese team in finals. Because I just think that the Lee Sin is that bad. Like, NGX have a functioning team composition with a good champion that can solo lane against the Jax. Riven might not necessarily win the entire time. She might get beat a little bit, but like, it's fine. Yeah, into Edge of Night. No Black Cleaver. Like, just fucking abhorrent. You're not playing a carry champion, buddy. You're 1.3k down on this Kha'Zix. You need to play low econ. You need to build Black Cleaver. And you just need to understand that your goal is to facilitate Zeri as easily as possible. Past that, you do nothing. Because you're a Lee Sin. You don't get to play the game, buddy. Okay. So Hyde and 120, Hyde, Dawn in the side lanes. Looks like Dawn's dead here. I don't know if he gets the kill onto Hyde before that, because he does have that shield, yeah. Aaron makes the rotate, and then I don't know what any of this shit is, dog. I don't know why you're fighting this. Like, you're fighting a 3v3 when you just lost your side laner, and you know that one of them's gonna rotate and it's gonna be a 4v3. I can't stand how JT are playing right now. Like, look at this. Hyde is going to get this turret for free. Hyde's going to get this turret for free. JT are going to rotate towards Baron. They're going to tap Baron like 3 or 4 times, and then JT have to come in, and then, hello? Why didn't you not get the turret? It's free. Like, all Nigma have to do is just rotate and tap Baron, because then the team has to go this way. I don't know why he's just not getting this turret. Maybe he did, and it's just not showing because I can't tell if that dots the turret or not. It looks like he didn't get the turret. Yep, the minions just got it, so he didn't get any of the gold. Yeah, so because the minions just got the turret, he gets no gold. So although that like is good, right? It's another turret knockdown. It doesn't change the gold diffs, so it's just useless. Okay, Infernal Dragon is up. This is our next major objective. I think if Nigma win this, they win the game. I think that the gold lead is like big enough that if they win the Infernal Dragon, they win the game, even if it's a smite steal, as long as they don't. That's operating under the singular assumption that they don't get wiped afterwards. So, draw is dead. He gets Gragas casked out, and then this team fight is lost. Pan is not going to die here. He's going to get away. Because of that, they're gonna reset. Yeah, the health bars are too low. 1, 2, 3, all in critical, and then Jax is just gonna keep pushing out wave. You're gonna see Jax just kind of ping ponging between these 2 lanes. I think is what you expect to happen. I'm also like, I just wish. Oh, they're going straight for Baron. Actually, that makes sense. Kha'Zix has got 15 seconds left on his death timer. Kai'Sa's got 16 seconds. Once they get Baron, though, I expect them to go straight for Dragon. This is actually a really good Baron call, because normally I don't think you expect this with the Dragon timers, and you can see they're probably just going to run straight down this way. Yeah, I still think that JT are Omega trolling this game, and hello? Red buff is not more important than Dragon. I don't know why they just didn't immediately start Dragon. Okay, so the gold lead is basically non-existent at this point. So this Infernal Dragon is going to be huge. They know that Kha'Zix is pulling. It's going to reset. Jax is solo top lane. Riven has to go match. KTRY could never. Looks like they get that turret. Yeah, so it looks like they're not even going to try to fight for Infernal. Well, actually, no, Lee Sin should just be soloing Dragon right now. Why is he clearing bot wave? What the fuck? I forgot how much I hated watching 0711, just Omega troll games. So yeah, J-Team are just going to keep fighting this for some reason. Look at this. What did this get you? What is this doing? Oh, I hope NGX win this game. I've changed my mind. I was like, I think it'd be better if the Chinese teams win. But at this point, 0711 deserves to lose this fucking series. Like, just what the fuck? Because they definitely had time to get Infernal. If he just didn't waste like 30 seconds clearing the minion wave for no reason. So he's going to reset, and now we're into the Dark Ages. I think Dawn knows he's been spotted on a ward, but they see Riven, so he feels free to just kind of push, because he knows that Riven's the only one that can match him. Yes, so he's just going to clear this wave, I assume, and then just keep ping-ponging back and forth between the bot or the top and the mid wave. Because this frees up all 4 of these members to just kind of hover in the areas that they're hovering in now. Not sure what he's doing. Oh, he's just clearing top wave. It just took a minute to load. Yeah. I'm gonna watch that sequence of events after they get the Baron back, probably after this. So they're going to start up Elder Dragon because Nigma are way far out. Nigma have to scout out with the Ziggs ultimate. Waves are basically even in mid, and then top lane has push. Again, they catch out the Nautilus. And there's no access to the backline. Holy, that's Zoe. But she does get just absolutely chunked for that. This is really about who can get to the top laners first, and Kai'Sa with the ultimate. However, the stasis from Jax lets him get out for free. So they have vision over all of this. It's a 3v4. You can see the 4 members there. They're just going to keep kiting that direction towards safety. And the Dawn makes the big balls play to just go straight up the top lane. This is actually a huge decision because he sees Hyde right there. And so he knows that he can go to top lane and try to end the game. Because, yeah, the support can't do anything. That said, he doesn't have the ability to actually end the game here. Oh my god, this is a miserable game. I don't see any world. Like, I understand the idea behind just trying to end the game there, or get the split and end the game. But there's no way it's worth it for Elder, because I feel like now Nigma just win the game. Like, I don't see how Nigma are about to lose the game. Pan got extremely lucky. Because if Nigma just hard force bot, how are J Team supposed to stop them? I suppose they're just going to be trying to use the Zoe and just use the fact that she has such like long, I suppose the word would be reach, to just clear out as much of the wave as possible. Because once Elder stops hitting, I think you're fine. I think that you can clear the wave. But if Elder is still hitting, I don't see any way that you can actually evenly win the game. Where is Riven? Hello? Okay, so they send Kha'Zix back. Is he just fucking straight up hitting it? This is unhinged. Holy shit. This looks like one of my ranked games. Yeah, this game is over. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. The Baron for... Oh, the... Oh my god. Inhib for Nexus. Anyways, this should be a non-Chinese team in finals. I think Nigma played well. That said, I don't think any other team would have lost to Nigma. I think that, like, J Team did not play well today, in my opinion. I want to see what's gonna happen. Okay, where's the Infernal Drake? I want to see after they get Baron specifically, because this is where they get Baron around, I think. 14:28, right? No, it's a little bit later. It's about 17 minutes. Yeah, so this is they have Baron right now. So let's rewind a few seconds. May have rewinded too far here. No, this is the right fight. So it's after this. This fight happens. They kill Joshi, they go Baron. They get Baron. Infernal is still up. right? Lee Sin should just run to Infernal and do Infernal right now. I don't know why he doesn't. This is a huge mistake on J-Team's part. Because, like, they clear red, and then they go and they clear, like all of this. They basically force everybody on NGX out, right? They all go away. And then instead of, like, doing Infernal, you're going to watch 0711 just go and clear bot wave. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you're not going to win the game off this. You can't. It's too early. They're going to have Nexus Shield. They have all 5 members up. Why are you clearing bot wave? It makes no sense. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure they see Kha'Zix here. I'm pretty sure Barry just saw Kha'Zix. And at the very least, he saw him off of that, right? Because you can see that Kha'Zix was, like, standing right here, and the Zeri thing was, like, right there. So they know Kha'Zix is here. Why is Lee Sin not soloing Dragon? I don't get it. Because doesn't it fade at 1730? I don't remember exactly when it fades, but I thought it was 1730. Yeah, it fades at 1730. Because you can see it. It's right here on the map. It starts fading. So I don't know what the fuck 0711 is doing. Anyways, that's the end of the stream. Have a nice day.